love and hate relationship that we have. You treat my body, but my bumper getting on me. And the promoter, you know what you're doing. You know I carry few sex life and you say, and the promoter, use a bad influence. I look up so long, I almost lose it. You know I can't see the bright light. Business penetrating the night sky.
Good night, good night. All you know what time it is.
Now look, we together again. Look, I don't know who is to blame.
Crystal, I got that right? What's up, people? Share the live. Let me go. Share the live. Hey. 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 Good night. Berry's Angel. Selector Andel, I hope all is well with you and you're recovering smoothly. Crystal, say again, well, you see. Don't feel like I can make this thing, you know.
You know I can't see the bright lights.
This is Rane, Blackman, and Pretty together again. All you share the live. We're going behind the soca tonight. Let me go.
Together again. Away. Together again.
So Hammers photo, sir. Good night, my darling. Crystal, I don't have you on this live, you know. We have to find out what is going behind the music with Crystal. Blessings, Andel. Blessings.
I just want wine again. I just want lime again. Could you tell all my friends?
Find one behind the soca. Hey.
You know I can't say the bright lights.
How all your day was? Let me know how all your day was. If all you had a good day, drop some flames. If all you had an okay day, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how all your day was.
Together.
Killer songs. When you come on this live, I just get jumpy, you know. Hey. Oh, let me roll into the next one time. We have some tunes to play from the artists coming on this live. Always Libra season. All my Libras drop some flames in the comments. Let me go. Well, you know I have a question. When the artist and the artist manager come on, you're not okay then? I hope tomorrow is a better day for you. Yeah. I want to walk where you're stopping for. This is Rane, My Behavior. I wrote this. The guests coming on the live, Darryl Gervais, co-wrote this with me. Right? It was produced by Kurum Productions out of St. Lucia. Hey. Share the live. Tell a friend. Share the live. Let me go. Hey. What y'all want getting on? So for everybody that had an okay day, I hope tomorrow is a better day for you all. I wonder if all the drinks.
Boy, you know it's trouble tonight.
Oh, you like this one? This song was actually released in 2019. I lie, 2021. Look at that. I have so much song I can't even remember. Next one. Butterfly Lost. Good night to everybody joining the live. All you know on Wednesdays, we go behind the soca. We try to do it every other Wednesday. But due to Miami Carnival, We have a little break in service. This is Rane, Blackman, Don't Afraid. All you get familiar. Killer songs, not me and you, you know. Tito straight. No, sir. I will pass out. Good night, honey. Don't friend. If you're ready, come for the bumper. If you're ready, come for the bumper. We have 2 epic guests on the live tonight. If all you don't know who it is, all you're gonna know real soon. This is Don't Afraid. Get familiar. Good night, Mr. Gervais. When I get you the walk, can you wine? Pronto in the house, okay. Hey, hey. So all you know before the guests come on. Good night, Tommy. His music, what's up? Pronto, respect, big runners and respect to you, Pronto. All you know before the guests come on, right? We had to run the tunes from the guests. Now, one of the guests is not a performing artist, but have written for a lot of performing artists. So I had to run the songs where the guests wrote, right? I want to start with this one because I think the ladies need to have a safe space, right? So let me take in this. Keys. Thank you, honey. This is Ray. And this is Safe Space. Well, you get familiar. Is it safe for me to show you who I am? Will you judge me for it all? Will you understand? I'm gonna follow here and do my thumbs up. What we drinking? What you drinking? Somebody said Tito straight. Zone. Now we know Behind the Soca, it's a judgment-free zone, right? It's all about promoting the music, the artists, their work. It's the sweetest berry. Good night, honey. The mic not picking up everything? Working. All you hear me good? Give my thumbs up if all you hear me good. Mary's Angel, why are you drinking Red Bull? You looking for pop? What's going on here? Nice vibes. Yeah. We continuing. The tempo in this. Oh, yeah, I love it. We going with Ray again, Ollie. Let me see. Exactly. Explain it pronto. All the ladies on the live with the wine and degree, drop some flames to me, please. Because I know they have a wine and degree. Don't come with that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We go and get on in some slower tempo. So we had to go again We're going back way again. If only remember this one. Hey. Long, long time I jump. It's a long, long time I walk my bumpy. Oh, I love this one. All day, I walk in up all day. I jam in it all day. I wind it up like I never see come see top on this all day. I step in that all day. Well back and that all day. I don't let it guess on them, give my little extra minute, cause the music so sweet. Like, yeah. Pronto, you know, come on. Rane does be the first music to drop. Rane drop before that. Is going to drop Rane and then going to the guest Pronto. All your name, no, nah. I dropped 3 Rane tunes. I don't drop the guest. The guest coming on and on. We can't delay them. Hey. Oh, yeah, this so long wine. That's be the best, eh? All day. All day. All day. I love any device. Flames, flames, flames. Make sure you have all your drinks. City name. All your drinks. We had to pause Rane. We had to go with Darryl Gervais. Darryl Gervais wrote a plethora of songs. I'm going to let you all hear a few of them. There we go. So before we played Rane, we went into Ray. And now we're going to have the songs written by Darryl Gervais. Yeah? Drop the flames, man. If you're willing to have some fun, I will give you company. Come girl, plunder right by me. Squeeze her tight, make a trip down me. Neighbor, oh, yes, you kindly. Let's surely know your mango sweet, so. Tell me. Right and sweet, so. It's been a while, yeah. Yeah, real vibes tonight. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Well, listen. Because we ran a good bit of songs from Ray, we ran some Rane music. Yes, Darryl Gervais wrote this song, if you didn't know. I need the guests to give me a little extra minutes. The voice was nice with the music. Well, I can't do the guests, you know, the viewers and the live that. Right? Next one, we can't stick. What is chili, baby? Woo! It's a kind of snack that we all enjoyed as children. You'll have to go to Trinidad to taste it. I'm not sure if they still make it. You'll probably get it in Tobago though. Hey, Jamali Alexander. Good night. How are you? Like I said earlier, we played tunes from Rane, Pronto. We played music from Ray, and now we're into the songs that Darryl Gervais wrote. This is Cass, Boss Lady. Before we had Cass, Jolene, right? Flawless, suitable. I come for this one. Sign me up. Share it live. There we go. Get your drinks. Get ready. Get ready. We can't stick too much. Right? We're going into one here. Ooh. I don't want to let all the things out the bag. I have to let the writer come on and tell you all who he wrote for. Can we get the guests to send their requests, please? And I'm very sorry, people, for everybody that's always sending requests to join the live. We had to focus on the guests, and we have to be respectful of their time, right? So you can ask your questions in the comments, and they'll answer. Somebody tag Rane and Darryl Gervais. One more from Darryl Gervais until he sends his request. I don't want to know. Yeah, no. You have to give me the tag.
It's Red.
No, it's the sweet. What is sweetheart, my girl?
Oh God. It's your sweetheart.
Yes, there we go.
Word. Don't say somebody night.
Mr. Legs on the line, big up Grenada in the house.
Big up Mr. Legs, big you up.
We was dropping some of your music.
Nice.
And I'll show you all the flames. Why are you so close?
What up?
So, y'all.
I close? I come along close then?
Nah, you're close. You're close.
It was close.
So,
good night.
So good now?
You're all good.
Okay.
Hey, people done baby and Ray. Oh, yeah. Don't start, eh? Let Ray breathe.
Where's the season?
Let Ray breathe. Chef. Good night, Chef.
Big up Chef. Big up everybody in the chat. China.
Yeah.
I have to.
Let me plug in this. We'll have 3 people when they come on this live. I need to give a disclaimer. There are 3 people. When they come on this live, I just get antsy. So Killer Songs, look out for that one. Naki, Miss Naki, and Shaf. Because when Shaf ready, Shaf just go on a roll. Right? I hope y'all see in the comments.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
All the love,
everyone.
I think I need to put this up a little bit. So, Gervais, I have to let you know that I dropped some songs that you wrote and people were in shock. But
for real?
we'll get into that. He write that one. Yeah, we will get into that. let me get some clappers for Ray Braden, her own here, please. I don't know if you saw the story today, but I was like, yeah, kudos.
I mean, it's not no paid job, but it will do the trick.
It works. So, good night to you all. Thank you for joining. Hope you all have your. Darryl, okay. Ray, hope you have your drink.
Yeah, I have my nice big drink of water.
Oh, don't worry, you and I anything. Normally I just come in with the liquor.
You're saying boo and thing how to record. Go ahead, boom now.
Listen, thank you all. Thank you both for your time and for joining me on the live tonight. I know it's gonna be a good live. It's always a good live. Just pay attention to the comments. They just go real fast. The questions just come rapid from the people in the comments. So I just let you know.
Right.
Without further ado, I know we called the names before, but for people that know coming on and stuff, introduce yourselves and let us know where you're rapping. What part of Trinidad and Tobago you're rapping?
You going first, Darryl? All right, good night, everybody. It is your sweetheart Ray here, and I am repping for South Trinidad, Southside, we outside. What is saying? Pick up anybody from Trinidad, Southside in the place tonight.
Is the oil in the oil there?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a South man. Man from Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darryl Gervais, for those that don't know. Yeah.
But I always thought you were from the East. I know Ray always.
East?
Yeah, I know Ray always repping she from South. But for some reason, I thought you were Eastman.
How girl? Just so. I mean, I love home, but I mean, Nah, South. I'm from deep South actually. I'm from Palo Seco.
Wow.
Yeah.
Both are we from the bush.
Mm.
I only met one person in my life from Palo Seco. Well, no, two.
Yeah?
Stop.
Who is that?
This one, like a friend of my mother's, like years ago, I was like a child.
Just some random.
Yeah, no.
Some random
But
dude from Palo
listen,
Seco.
I was just thinking the other day, and I was like, South produce a lot of people in this
Facts.
industry, you know, like
Yep.
writers, producers, artists, like everybody
Artists,
come from South.
prime ministers.
Right. When is that disappearing at Gervais going with them?
Where I going? I don't know.
We
You
seen a wall or
turn your
something.
That's
camera?
A mirror. We seen a mirror.
Yeah. I just see the thing
Oh.
like abracadabra, and then somebody else is this.
Oh, I was scrolling up in the comments and I
Oh,
hit the thing.
you hit the camera.
Yeah.
South is breathing a different air, definitely. Ray, I don't know if you saw this comment from Shaft. He said that you need to start a soca hair salon. Think
I
about it.
mean, I've been pondering a lot of things lately, so you know we could add that one to the list of things I'd like to venture out.
To the repertoire of things you have going on. Big up
Shaft
Santa
Eastman.
Santa Flora in the house.
Wow. I would let you all know I don't even know where Santa Flora is.
That's
I said East Girl. Big up Diego Martin in the house. I've seen a lot of Diego comments. So big up Diego in the house. So how did Darryl Gervais and Ray connect and decided to form an artist manager relationship?
I always tell this story.
Okay, then go.
I was literally not going to say that.
You go. Let me hear it from your side because I feel like I always tell that story. So let me hear it from your mouth.
So from my perspective, right? So Ray is the younger cousin of one of my best friends.
Oh, nice.
Right? And I remember. No, I know Ray since she's small too. Right? Like we know each other.
Backwards. You're telling the story backwards.
That's
you see that why I just tell the story.
Let me tell my story.
You're wrong, Ray, because you told him to tell the story. So
I know. All right.
Yeah.
I zip in. All right.
So her older cousin is one of my best friends. So we knew of each other for some time now, but we didn't know each other like that, you know. And in 2018, I believe it was, he had reached out to me to have a conversation with his cousin. He's like, "You remember Ray?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know, well, talk with her and thing." And we eventually had gotten on a phone call one time, and you know, just talking, you know, the business, and you know, she wanted to know some things, you know, because I think at that time she was ready to start her career, you know.
Right.
And you know, we chatted and we kind of hit it off from the first conversation. Okay. And then as the conversations got deeper into business and what's needed and stuff like that, I told her, listen, one of the first things you need is music. You know, you need good songs. But I don't really just like to. I like to put my songs in the hands of people that I know would do it justice.
Right.
You know, because like any songwriter, producer wants to be associated with good art, but you also want to be associated with something that you can feel proud of.
Right.
You know, and I told her, I was like, yeah, sing for me. You know? Yeah, sing for me. And she sang
me.
What you sang? Was it
Alicia Keys.
Yeah. She sang Alicia Keys, so
okay.
I was pleased with what I heard. I felt like, yeah, you know, we could definitely, you know, do some good business and thing and make beautiful art. And I didn't start off managing her. I was just a songwriter. You know, but I think from the connection that we had from the first conversation, in addition to the fact that she was basically family at that point, because you know her cousin is one of my best friends, so of course I'll make sure my boy cousin good.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I ever really left her alone to fend on her, even after the first three songs, you know. and she came down. Was it October? She came down in October
No.
2019. Was it
That was done
October?
after music record. That's
No,
the
no,
second.
that's what I'm
You
talking
say
about.
that part
I'm
already?
talking about that.
No,
You know,
October was
no,
after
what
the
I'm
fact.
talking about is when I accepted the manager part of
Oh
things,
God,
like
just tag me and I'm gonna tell you the rest of the story now.
tag.
All right, I find he leaving out like all the good stuff. So,
Okay.
Nikki,
Bad,
I
you know,
really want
Nikki.
to tell the
Bad
story.
Right?
I
What?
start
patience.
laughing.
Tell that story so bad.
So
Nikki
right,
G shame
so
on you for the why.
so after yes, it for real though is a E. Rate with an E. Always leading with that. But yeah, so he after he make me sing and whatever, it's time now for us to find the music or whatever. And I running this man down. Well you can hear me because the phone looking like it's stick. Well you hearing me still?
Yes,
Yeah.
we hear
Okay.
you, but your visual stick. You're good now.
Yeah, okay. So so we needed the music. So I running this man down every second. I'm like, oh, I don't mean to bother you, but you have anything to send me yet? You have anything? And I'm feeling like, oh my God, this man is probably like this man cousin, like she just annoying boy. And I'm running him down. Months it take for this man
By the way,
to
I never
finally
thought
send
so.
me.
I was never thinking
But
that.
but that's the way I felt, right? So
Right.
finally he sent me
Yeah.
something.
You
So
told your
even
part, Darryl. You saw that? Let her
Huh?
speak. They're saying you told your part. Let her speak.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
so
she take over, but go ahead,
because
go ahead.
you was giving them the fast track version and it's
I
a real thing in between. So
Yeah, I know how much time we have.
all right. So
We got time. Go
anyway, so
ahead.
he finally sent some beats or whatever the case may be, and he did a song. But then he hit me with, okay, well, you done sing for me, we done finding music, but if you feel you're recording somewhere that's not in front of me, it's not happening. You have to come Trinidad and you have to record.
Oh, you're
So I
one of
say,
those.
oh Lord,
Okay.
yeah. I say, okay, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Here, well, let me make a deal. I say I'll go come.
Right.
But if I come, I want to have the follow-up song ready one time because I don't know he not gonna put the head on a block and say, okay, well, after the first time she could do everything on she own. I know he coming to tell me I to come back and record both. So
Right.
I'm trying to, kill
Right.
two birds with one stone kind of
Makes
vibe
sense.
and do, the follow-up all in one. So whatever. So we do the follow-up all in one. That was in the summer of 2019.
Okay.
Right, Darryl? Summer of 2019. So
Yeah, it was
in
summer.
October, he never left my side, like he said. And I remember hitting up my cousin, like, yo, everybody does function. So, like, when somebody writes you a song, they does like stay in your corner like this. And he said, nah. He said, I never hear nothing like that. He said, he probably looking out for you because of the strength of me.
Right.
Because when I tell you, like, never left my side. Like, I was trying to figure out, well, oh God, let me do a music video. He's like, walk first, man. Like, he's like, walk first. So,
But that's good.
nah, it was great advice, and he was always there just giving me pointers, kind of helping me learn the business of the music. And I would continuously just make a joke over and over and call him manager Darryl, because I say, you're not functioning like my manager,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you're doing kind of everything a manager would do. Just, you sure you don't want to just, make this official? Nah, Gil, I hear it 20,000 times. Nah, Gil. So anyway, so October 2019 come now, and he's like, Ray, you had to come here and you had to do radio interviews. I say, okay, cool. We come in, we doing it. He never leave my side again. He come with me to every single radio interview. But one of the interviews now, they say, who is this man standing in the corner here with you? So he come on the mic and he starts to talk. And they say, well, introduce yourself, who are you and whatever. And man say, she manager. Well, Rane, that was it. From the time we leave that interview, I was like, I don't know if you heard what you said,
Right.
but I heard what you
Yeah.
Was
said.
it on
The
96?
radio
I feel
heard
like
what
it
you
was
said.
96. Was it
No, this
96?
was on WAC.
It was what?
The
Okay,
WAC.
yeah, it was what?
So the two South people insult, and he claiming his management insult on South Radio. I say, well, here what?
Yeah,
You can't back
it
out.
was.
No, you
Right.
don't tell the world. You're live on radio. So
Kind
you
of
gotta
feel.
roll with the punches. No, and we
Mm-hmm.
have literally been pumping since then. Well, since before, but officially as artists and management since then.
That's good. Let me shout out Boogie Ranks on the live.
Hey, big
So
up Boogie Rane.
Where
Yeah,
Boogie come in? Boogie reached there?
yeah. I saw him earlier. I don't know if he's still there, but I saw him earlier. So somebody saying, Ray, that you spoke it into existence, and you kept at it, and it's not that you was running him down, it's that you were persistent.
Yeah, I was hungry.
That's why I had to go close my door.
Yeah,
Look at where you are. Look at where you are.
exactly.
So now that Ray gave the spiel, Darryl
Uh-huh.
Gervais, because I don't know if people just call you Darryl. That's that's a thing with you. I know people just call you Gervais.
Yeah, either one, yeah.
Yeah. So how would you describe your artist management relationship with Ray?
We have an interesting. No, I mean, I'm being honest. We have a really what? Ray and I have a very close relationship. I think that we're friends. I think we could get on each other's nerves sometimes. It's like I don't want to say brother and sister, but we could get it and we good because we have an understanding and we have communication. There's actual love and respect there. So a big part of it is that we're real with each other. You know. I generally don't think, and I genuinely don't think that um I believe 100% that in order to do this thing effectively, you have to care, right?
Right.
And sometimes caring comes with a certain level of passion, and that passion could be in the tone, the way you talk and express yourself,
Right.
and so heads bound to bump,
Yeah.
but I think we have a real good relationship in terms of, even just the business and the grind. Like I couldn't do this with anybody else, um, if they didn't actually feel kind of the same way how I
Right.
feel,
Mm-hmm.
you can't work with somebody and you want it more than them, you
Right.
know.
Right. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ever put myself in a position like that,
Right.
So I think Rhea and I have a really, really good relationship. It's not perfect relationship, but
What relationship?
mad love and respect always. Yeah, exactly. But
Good.
it's real love is a lot of respect, So
Good.
yeah,
Good. I'm happy to hear
all
that. Ray,
right,
you want to chime in? Because I
No,
know.
that was well said. I agree with the statement.
Okay. I think she's very happy with what you said.
Yes.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So just so you know, I also
a
bounce
reading
off of.
comments.
Yeah. So I'm seeing here. So what made you? Because now I'm knowing you were an artist. Now I scrub your gram. I saw you would sing and stuff like that. But I
Who,
didn't
me
know
you
you were
talking
an
about?
artist. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So so you sang what? Soca, R&B.
I mean, I I would say that I was always an artist. I grew up singing, I did vocal training, all them things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for uh, for a good part of my life, I used to do like gospel music, inspirational music, and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Um, so I was known a lot on that side of things. Um, but I always was a songwriter,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I just in 2011 or so, I kind of started transitioning into wanting to be part of the 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 behind the scenes people that kind of craft what's being
Yeah.
put out. I wanted to influence the quality of what's going out.
Right.
And it
Right.
didn't start with soca. Yeah, it didn't start with soca at all. I was doing pop and R&B,
Mm-hmm.
traveling the world doing that. Soca for me started in 2016,
Okay.
and it started with Kes. So what better way to jump in the thing?
Wow.
So, but yeah, but I was always doing it. I just felt like I was in a season of my life where I wanted to take a step back and just contribute to the art rather than trying to be the face of it.
And
And
what great
that's been
contribution.
going great for me. Yeah.
What great contributions, eh? So when
Yeah.
you were being, how should I say, like harped on, because I don't want to say pestering, disturbed, or anything like that, what Ray said. When you were being harped on to manage Ray, was it that what delayed you? Because you have never managed anyone?
No, I managed a producer before, but my delaying really came from time management. I
Okay.
felt like my my focus at the time was my own career, songwriting, right? Songwriting was always first. And I just felt like I wasn't sure if I wanted to take on the responsibility to, you know, to take care of somebody else,
Okay.
because any real manager knows when you manage an artist, it's kind of like, in a sense, adopting a child, right?
Oh,
It's kind
okay.
of like, yeah, it's kind of like that. And you prioritize them to a certain
Mhm.
extent, so that's part of it. And I knew I could do it because I've yet to meet something that I've ever had to do that I failed at.
Right.
But because to me, it kind of comes down to relationships, being a good manager, and having good social skills and being persistent at the same time too.
Yeah.
The thing with me is that I'm aside from that part of things, I'm also a creative, so I understand all the sides to the entertainment thing,
Yeah.
the especially the creative part of it, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was really what held me back in making the decision right away. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to take on the responsibility. But I'll be honest with you, like I have no regrets with it so far. I
Great.
think I love it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And if it's one thing that I've always heard throughout the years was one of the most successful things a songwriter or a producer could do is break an artist.
Mm.
So yeah. So that was one of the things to kind
Push.
of push you through it too.
Yeah, I think y'all
Yeah.
make a great team from what I
Thank
see.
I think
you.
so too.
And yeah, like Darryl is really at your side. Okay. For people that don't know, if you go to events and you see them and stuff, always it's not Ray so and Darryl so or anything like that. And then I know like with a lot of content and stuff like that, like I think you guys really mesh where that is concerned. So
Yeah.
see, you made a great choice.
Yes, yes, for
Right?
sure.
And the connection, the person that connected y'all did a great thing.
You
So
did,
keep
you
at
did,
that for
you did.
Big
sure,
up
for sure.
Kevin.
Big up because.
Big up the cousin, big up the family every time.
Yeah.
So Ray, I think you said 2019 was when you went to record. So 2019 is when you entered the soca arena, when you jumped on the soca scene.
Yeah, 2019 is when the first song went out.
And the song
Um,
was,
so a lot of people think it's Work It Off for the Totin Rhythm,
yeah.
but it's actually not. The first song that ever went out was Say
Mm-hmm.
Something, and that one was produced by Darryl,
Kelly Beats.
by Kelly Beats.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
want a piece of say something.
What you mean, like just sing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Woohoo! I'll see something, go boy. Come a little close to me. Right here you're supposed to be. Pull up to my bumper. See how you can't remember the words. Say something, say something, say something. Darryl only remember this song.
When we doing our unplugged, you gotta bring them things in your
Of
catalog, take them on the journey.
course.
It'll be good.
Of
I
course.
like that because it just make me realize that I cannot remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
honestly,
I take them on the journey.
yeah, because I played whole day and I thought that was the first song.
Oh
So when
wow. Yeah.
I when I interview the guests and they're like, and I'm like, this is all what I ask all the time. What year did you jump on the scene and what was your
Yeah.
first song? Because people will think it's one thing, but it's not. So then I'm
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
okay, that was your first song. Let us hear it because we need
Yeah.
to
That's
know.
always people's perceptions of artists, though. They always feel the song that they
That's
knew
the
them
more
for
no
is
right, right,
yeah,
or the
you
more
know.
popular or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
And to be
the
honest,
perception.
it's a bit before whole day, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it had distraction, it had
Sweetest wine.
The sweetest.
Sweetest Wine, which was
Yeah.
that was my jam. That should not come out in
And
COVID.
So what
Yeah.
was the follow-up
Soca
song?
Makers with Jesse.
So the follow-up song, so when I went and recorded, the follow-up song was for the Totin Rhythm Work It on the Totin Rhythm with Moto. That was the follow-up song that we recorded. But before Whole Day, the song after that was Distraction, then Sweetest Wine, then Jesse.
But we come into the catalog, eh?
Yeah.
But as you said, Work It,
Yeah.
I was like, look how life's so funny. I dropped a song called Work It for this year, and then when I went to do the radio tours and stuff, there was like, there's another artist in Tobago have a song called Work It. Then the radio announcer RKG, he have a song called Work It. So I was like, right, I was like, that's just wow. I was like, what? Wow.
I could
understand new under the sun.
Yeah. I could see for us why even something like Work It would be across multiple,
something
you know?
easy. Yeah, something simple and everybody just connect with it. Got it.
Exactly.
So, all right, what made you decide to become a soca artist? And how has that journey been for you thus far?
So I've been doing music for a while. I studied music. I went to Frank Sinatra High School. And then after that, I was like dabbling in R&B and was in murdering studios a couple times. And it was cool and I liked it and it was nice. But it wasn't fueling me the way that soca does, right?
Okay.
But at that time, my experience with soca was as a feta, not as, performing or singing. And it was a time that Patrice, Umi, Marshall, a bunch of them had come, Farm and Happy, when they used to like really perform and things together, and they had all come. And I can't remember if the music cut or if Patrice cut the music, and she just started to sing. And I was like, wait, hold up. She could sing. She could sing. So I'm like, why can't I do this then? Because that's probably what prevented me from stepping into that field, right? Is this idea of, is it really singing? Sometimes I feel like people don't necessarily always get that vibe from it. And when I heard her doing it, I was like, oh, nah, well, I'm about to just put all the happy pieces into one little bucket and we're gonna do soca. But I was always scared. Like, I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a very sociable person. But the one thing that always used to scare the crap out of me was singing publicly. Yeah. And a lot of people don't even know that. But, like, my closest friends would have known that. But for me, jumping into, like, doing this professionally, like, I was like, I made so many attempts outside of soca just to, do things professionally, and always just kind of got scared. I was like, no. And then finally, when I made up my mind for soca, I don't know, something just felt a different level of comfort. Maybe because now it was putting my culture along with my passion, and it just made it different. It made it feel different. It made the experience different. That I was like, yep, that is what we're doing. It's soca. Like,
yeah. So when you did actually get in, how did you feel? Like, were you like, why was I holding myself back this whole time? Like, I can do this.
I think a lot of people told me that. Like, a lot of people were like, Ray, you just jumped on that stage brave. So, like, but for me, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that it necessarily changed, like, oh yeah, no, I could do this. I think whenever there's any fear, it's before I'm on the stage, right?
Right.
Once I'm on the stage, literally all of that goes away. Like, it gets eliminated, and I don't have a space to think like, oh my God, or unless it's just no kind of love and they're just watching you on your face, then you might start to think. But I don't think I had much time to think, oh yeah, like what was I afraid of? I think I was just doing it. Like, I think because the passion was there, it wasn't a thought process anymore. It was just, hey, this is just happening. Like,
it became like kind of comfortable.
Yeah, like almost like second nature, like just like yeah.
I know, because like with me, I didn't want to sing. I was like, I'm not going to sing, because let me tell you what my fear was. I go on the stage and I get pelted toilet paper or a bottle, something like that. And my fear wasn't getting pelt. My fear was my reaction to it. Like I feel like I would have jumped down in the crowd and just had a swing, and it'd be a whole scene, and then.
Nah, so that's one thing I had to learn, as you say, reaction. Like being on the stage and learning that you can't let the crowd know that something is wrong. That's something that it had to develop a little bit. Like there were times where I performing and my DJ mess up and I'm like it's like obvious on my face. And I come off the stage and Darryl is like, yo, like you can't watch back. So like I remember there was this one time I did like a hard, like my whole neck spin down. So those are things that I had to kind of, like those are things I had to kind of learn. Like, okay, there was one time I had a hard,
Yeah. Do you have an alternate? But let her finish.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I'll get to that question. That's a great question. But yeah, I had to start programming myself like don't react. But in the beginning, it was a real fight up because I'm like in my brain, I didn't call for that song. Like, how you play that? Like, where you hear me say that? You know, like that. And my face was giving all of that. My face was literally reading like, you hear me call for that song. So Darryl is like, yo, yeah. Darryl is like, you had to work on that. He's like, don't let people them know that something, you know, didn't work out.
Oh, you would do that.
Don't do that.
Hey, I see a DJ really get across on a stage already.
So as far as an alter ego, so when I first started, I would say the answer is no. But as I continued and as I started to get more comfortable and as I started to get into more this idea of, you're entertaining, you're putting on a show, some people started saying that I was a diva. Not a diva in the sense of like the bad way we might hear people say diva, but like diva, like owning it, like that kind of thing. And I was like, I kind of like that. Like, okay, so there's the sweetheart, but then there's the diva, right? So, and then there was a time that I had a conversation with Tash, which is our Lero manager, and she was actually explaining to me that you kind of have to have one because having that in a sense also kind of protects you, because when you go on, you're giving them something different, but you as the human being, you as the, you know, it's not the exact same person. And I wouldn't necessarily say I have an alter ego, but I do think that when I go on stage, mentally, I go on stage differently now. I don't go on stage thinking, okay, well, it's really sweet at a soca. We're going to go on. Nah, I come into mash up. I come into wind on the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, sweetheart, nothing when I come on the stage. You can sweetheart me all the time when I come off. But when I reach on the stage, sweetheart gone. She disappeared.
So, Killer Songs asked a question, but I'm gonna put the question the way I want to put the question. Killer Songs. So you're getting your songs ready for your performance, right? Now he's asking if you get upset when the DJ play instrumental too fast. No, I'm asking you because I know for me, like I would be like, speed up this tempo to mix in with the next song and so on. Do you do that?
Yeah, so when I give the DJ my set, I will normally tell them I want it sped up. Like I don't want to perform these songs in real time, and I will normally say based on,
He's short.
Yeah. Big up Jelani, big up Biggie. Yeah. So I normally want it sped up, and I like when they do. Everybody have a job. I have a job. The DJ have a job, right? So you supposed to also be versed in what you're doing to know, okay, well, this song is a different tempo and I need to kind of mix this in proper for this to mix in. Or if we have a chance to practice or a pre-conversation, then it might just be like I might kind of just want an effect before I bring in the next song or something. So those are things that I try my best to have a discussion with. But if it's not a space or a time to have one, then yeah, it's really just speed up almost all the songs and just match them to bring it in. Now I will do the talking over what I have to talk over. I will handle all of that. I will tell you when to wheel it. I will tell you what. I will control all of that. Just handle the tempos, bring it in, and
because I was just about to say you are in control, right? I mean, like obviously you will you will do your run through with it. Like I will call probably and a whole hour we drilling.
Yeah.
Right? So when I get on stage now and like you said, you hear the trip up. I like in my head we didn't I've been run through this. What the fuck is this? You know? It's like, all right, you say a two thing and you know you're just blending
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. So
yeah, but
like Killer Song
control.
saying here, he's saying pay attention. I don't know if he mean artist or DJ, but that's
the
what
DJ
I'm saying. Like the DJ has to be watching. Like you need to be watching the artist that's on the stage. They will give you the cues. They will whoever know or whoever versed in it, they will literally tell you what it is they want. And all you really had to do is you had to watch.
Yeah.
And then again, in learning and practicing and having multiple performances, I learned too that when the mess ups come, I started learning how to just roll with it. That you never know a mess up ever even happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know fight. You bring in the wrong song. Okay, cool. Well, we gonna work that wrong song. Like that's exactly what I call for. You know. So
yeah. I remember Farmer gave a tip one time. He saw me perform and he was like, "Stop saying next song. Your DJ supposed you have to give your DJ a cue." Or do some kind of signal or something so the DJ will know time to go in with the next one. So I was like, all right, try to work with that and see. But let's jump over to Mr. Gervais. So, all right, so 2008. Somebody keep putting 2008 in the comments, some show you did or some concert that you did. But
so Rebecca is somebody who knows me from the gospel days. So I think 2008 was probably something I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this gospel music festival it used to have in the East. I really can't remember the name. If she's still on the live, she'll have to come on and tell it. But now I sang at like a lot of big concerts and stuff like that too. So she knows me from that.
Okay, Ray.
Yeah.
That question that come in there for you, plug it, don't answer it. So many people in the comments, I know earlier and asking questions there, but it's coming. So when did you get into writing music? What was the first song you wrote and who was the artist that you shot that song to?
The first major song that I wrote, in terms of commercial success, it was for a Disney artist by the name of Ashley. Like if I had to think commercial success.
Yeah.
In soca it would have been Kes. I think Kes and Lil Bits was the first two soca artists I ever worked with. But I've been writing for a really, really long time, but I only started like getting into the business of songwriting in 2011. I started like a production company and I was like killing it in the game of advertising and stuff. Like they was calling me Jingle Gervais. I was doing real jingles. I do jingles for almost every brand in Trinidad. I'm telling you. Wow. Like almost every brand. I was a real hustler with the advertising. And then well the songwriting. I think the first song I ever tried to sell somebody, I sell it for like $1,500 TT. Okay. That was the first song. The second song, I won't even tell you how much I sell it for. But,
don't worry.
But now I've been at the writing for a minute now. And I'm very proud of the catalog that I've been a part of. And the catalog that I have.
What made you decide to embark on the writing journey?
I always knew from childhood that music was the thing that was going to, the Bible says like, well, the Bible didn't say this, but paraphrasing, but operating your gifting, Right. And I always knew what my gifting was, I always knew what my gifts was, and the Bible says your gifts will make room for you, and lead you before great men. So I always knew what my talent was, and my talent is my gift to the world, And I always figured, when you operate in what you're good at, it will lead you places and whatnot. So, and that's how you add value. The first thing people see or they associate you with is your fruit. What is my fruit? My fruit is music. My fruit is songwriting, you know, my opinion, my taste, you know, that's how I add
And
value.
now
And
your future is great too.
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. Um, but I felt like from childhood I always knew that music was the thing that was going to, you know, take care of me.
Right.
So I I I think I'm one of the few that could say basically everything I own is because of music. You know, everything that I've ever been able to do is because of music. You know, music has been providing for me for years, for my family, for my sons, for my, you know, everything was music, paid for it. So, but I always, my interest in songwriting came from my amazement of songs. You know, I always looked at songs from the perspective like a real fan, like a student of songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always amazed with how songs could make you feel and how powerful music was. And
Right.
I just honestly always wanted to be a part of that, you know.
That's good.
Always wanted to be
That's
able
your
to
blessing.
contribute in that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I
Nikki
said
G,
that's your blessing.
Nikki G asked
Yeah,
a
exactly.
real good question
Yeah,
there for Darryl though.
I didn't forget it. I saw it. I just remember. I just had to keep it in here because I don't like to
Interrupt.
interrupt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I like to
What
like
was
the
the
artist
question?
get out. So she's asking, how do you deal with being rejected by an artist? You know, you go, you put a song to them, and they're like, nah. Wait, anybody ever reject you? That's the question.
Very, very few. Very few. But and that's just in soca, you know. But I think with my experience throughout the years in music in general, starting from pop and R&B, is like when I first started traveling to the US and being involved in that industry,
Mhm.
that was a huge culture shock. You realize just how much people give a shit about nothing, you know.
Right.
It's dog eat dog, you know. That's what America taught me though, dog eat dog, you
Okay.
know. That was my first experience in the American music industry.
Okay.
Nobody gives a shit. Your back had to be broad.
Mm-hmm.
Rejection is a part of it,
Right.
you know. But I've hardly ever been rejected in soca though. And the truth is in soca, I think I think my value is kind of understood at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
even if somebody rejects a song from me, somebody else is take it like nothing this waste,
Okay.
you know. Like
Right.
absolutely nothing this
Yep.
ways. If you post on a line and I ain't feel to change it, I just sell that song to somebody else. Like I ain't changing nothing for you, bro. You know,
Okay.
you take it on, get it or shim out.
As you say that, I just curious. Did you bring back the dog eat dog mentality from the US to Trinidad?
Nah. I don't operate like that.
Okay.
I hold the door open for people. I don't hide the marbles and run inside. You know, I don't do
Yeah. Yeah. As
that. Yeah,
Killer says, music won't expire. So Ray,
it doesn't.
Yes.
since entering the soca industry, what if any challenges have you faced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Um, I think the first and obvious challenge is I not living home, right? And the first thing they're gonna wanna say is, well, she from foreign, blah 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 blah, you know. And first of all, because I'm living here, that don't mean nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if I'm spreading the culture, if I'm part of the culture, I was born in this culture, I am from this culture,
Right.
and I'm representing it well, that is what should matter.
Right.
So I think that was one of the first challenges, but I knew before I even start that that was going to be like one of the big ones, right? I was going to be the biggest thing is because even when I go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last year, I shouldn't even say last year, well, this year carnival, right?
Right.
Was probably one of the first times like it felt crazy where people were like recognizing me, stopping me on the road, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like what's going on? You know, because you know they just say we don't like we don't really show love to we own, right? So I wasn't even anticipating that. I wasn't expecting that. And then outside you come out, you perform, and it's real
Yeah.
love. People just off the
Yeah.
jump, they showing you real love.
Yeah.
Like so I knew that not living home would be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I kind of prepared myself for that mentally going into this, it didn't really, I just brushed that off. I knew it was coming, so it didn't really affect me. I think one of the other challenges that, and I don't face it often, but it has happened where I record a song and the producer is expecting to hear Destra or Denise or Patrice and it's like, well, she ain't giving me this like Patrice. Well, she's not Patrice. She ain't giving me this like this person. Well, she's not this person. And that happened in the earlies. That's not something that happens at this current point, but in the earlies, that was definitely like something that was like, nah, she had to go back and re-record this. And I'm like, oh, like I cannot re-record something to sound like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is another thing. I guess to broaden it, the easiest way to broaden it is comparison. That is the easiest way to broaden it, because it's not that many females that get through or is in this arena. So now when you have a couple and you have you have the seasoned female artist, you have the upcoming female artist. I think comparison is a big thing that happens. And again, I think it is just literally for myself, knowing who I am, knowing what I find is not necessarily different in a better or less or any kind of way, but just who is Ray, right? Stick to who is Ray, and eventually that will take its toll. That is what people will see, and so said, so done, right? That's what we've been doing. That's what we've been continuing to do, and that's what we will continue to do.
Right.
But those, if there is any other challenges, maybe my manager getting it and then not coming to me, which praise Darryl again, right? Because I probably get shielded from a lot of what people who don't have management, people who don't have a team, they have to take everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, they have to hear everything from everybody, where I think I get to get a filter. I think I get to get, even if there's a no, maybe I didn't even know the no because he only sent me the yes. So, whatever the case. So I think that allows me to kind of, I don't want to say not have it easy, because it's not easy. You're still working for what it is that you need. But I think there's a big difference between coming in something without a team and having a team and having a good manager on your side. So the two hurdles I would say is the ones that I named. But I've always been a fighter. So anything that comes my way at the end of the day, I kicking down them doors. It is as a sweetheart, but as a fighter. So
I want to shout college boy Jesse that jumped in here.
Hey, big up college boy Jesse.
You had a question earlier, but I wanted to say that I understand where the management filter comes in, because big up college boy Jesse. My manager also is like, he don't come with me with certain things, and I was like, I want to know it all. Tell me everything. But I also understand that the management doesn't want to cloud your mind with that. Like, you need to focus on what you need to focus on. Right, Darryl?
That's true.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
He does a good job of keeping me out of my way. That's a great way to put it. And I probably annoy the crap out of him, but he does a really good job of trying to keep me as level-headed and filtering all the noise.
But that's what we are there for, to annoy the crap out of them. So don't feel no right?
I don't feel no way. I just making it a statement, but I just get annoyed.
When the comparison is concerned, that was like crazy. I would hear your song like this person. No, she sung like that, so she sung like that. You kind of sung like Nadia, this one, sung like me. But because to me, it's like, all right, they know you're on that level yet, so they're thinking like, oh, this is what your song like, and then eventually they'll be like, all right, this is who it is. But question for you: when you said this year, people was telling you like, hey, the senior on the street is Ray. How did you react? Like, were you like, who is this? Because I know when people were doing me that Rane thing, and I was like, where I know you from? Like, and my friend was like, girl, you had to stop doing that because XYZ is singing. I was like, oh hi, yeah, I remember you.
For me, it depends, right? If I'm out and I know I'm out in an artist capacity, my brain thinks differently. So if somebody's coming up to me and they're like, oh my God, are you so and so and so and so? My brain is automatically like, okay, music, they're referring to me.
Right.
But if I just walking outside to get doubles and somebody stop me and say so, my brain is like, oh, who they know me? They probably know I so and so daughter. Like that's what I'm thinking in my brain. So it really depends on what am I doing in the moment that I got stopped, and that determines how I respond. But for the most part, I'm still always smiling. If they start to talk like they know me, then I might start to ask some questions because now I'm really confused.
Yes.
But if like within the first 2-3 lines, it's kind of seeming like, well, they know of me, whether through social media or they saw me in a performance, or maybe they're from foreign and they came for carnival, whatever the case may be. It kind of quickly gets, filtered out which one it is, and it makes it easier for me to kind of function.
I want to see if I can catch back this question. This question I didn't really. Okay. They asked, what are some highlights of traveling abroad to network and perform challenges? I'm not sure if they want to explain or if anybody grasps that. But Darryl, when you're by yourself, do you get, hey, use Rane manager?
No, not really. No. Being a manager too is kind of part of being a manager is like managers kind of the people who have to know who you are, they know who you are. But the regular people on the streets, they're not aware of that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they will only be aware of that if they see us at a show or something. You know, the regular
And still,
people,
that wouldn't even be the first question they ask. First thing would be, Diamond?
yeah, that man.
My manager.
Yeah.
Once it's male and female moving, that the first thing that will be that. You know.
They mightn't even come and talk to you either because they think. They ain't even asking you. They just think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
Whatever the
facts.
thought process is, but yeah, I feel that question would quicker come, like you say, unless somebody knows, like they're affiliated with the industry and they're aware. I don't think anybody would first thought in their brain think, oh, that's an artist, that must be she manager there. I don't know why, but
A big
whatever
up
the
pyramid
reason.
entertainment. So the question was resent to you. What are the highlights of traveling abroad, and what are the challenges of traveling abroad?
I mean, the highlights is clearly getting to see new places,
Yeah.
right? That's always amazing. The challenges for me is always losing family time. I would honestly rate that as probably being the only challenge I even care about. Because I'm very, very big on family. I'm very extremely family oriented. And my brain is always trying to make up the lost time when I do go away. But I definitely think there's more benefits than there is challenges, but that's a big challenge for me.
Right.
So that definitely trumps a lot. But as you see in new places, experiencing new cultures, because even when you go into a new place for soca, the culture is still different.
Yes.
The people are still different, and you get to see that and you get to learn that, like, yes, we all come together because we're here for this genre that we love, this energy that we love, but you're still here. Like when you go Canada, it's different accents, it's different vibes, it's very different learning. Or when you go to London, like it's just very, very different, and it's great to see, to be honest, and it's a great experience. And I love that part of it. I guess another challenge is sometimes because of the time restraints, like it might be an in and out kind of thing, you don't get to explore where you've traveled to.
Yeah.
So a lot of people might see it and like, oh my God, she gone this place, she gone that place. But to me, it's like I didn't even go there because I fly in and I fly out, like, you know.
I love Canada.
But
By the way, I think it's so clean and nice. I just love it.
I love Canada. I love Canada. Yeah.
Especially Toronto. I love it.
Yeah.
So we real far in here. So I need to pedal back a bit and ask, how did you get the name Ray and the Sweetheart of Soca?
So Ray's always been my nickname. Well, okay, I lie. Ray has always been my nickname. And I had that from since small. My friends' parents, my cousins, Ray C. They call him all kind of nicknames, but always with this Ray, being the main thing. And I got tired of saying Ray, and then people started calling me Ray Charles, like probably around nothing in the industry, but like when I first started, like I went from Ray to Ray Charles, and I loved it because I'm like, oh my god, they call me Ray Charles, blah 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 blah. But then in doing the industry stuff and radio interviews and stuff like that, it got really, really challenging. Every time I had to plug my social media, like it was really annoying because it was long to spell out, because I done the spell Ray differently.
Right.
So I spelling out the Ray and then I spelling the Charles different because I don't want to get in trouble. Next thing you know, something going out and they say, oh, she's saying Ray Charles. So I spelling the Charles differently. And every time I had to do interviews and every time I go into radio and every time I doing lives, I spelling out this long name and I'm like, I can't do it no more. Like, this is way too long. I'm going to just drop the Charles and I'm going to keep it as Ray.
Okay.
So that's how we just ended up with Ray. But for me as an individual, Ray has always been my nickname. It's always existed.
Yeah.
As far as the Sweetheart of Soca, it was DJ Judgment, who he was like, oh, just so you know, anytime I talk about you, anytime I play your music, I telling everybody, use the Sweetheart of Soca, use Soca Sweetheart, and you know, just going on and on. And I'm like, I like that. Like, that has a ring to it. Like, I think that's really cute. I just kind of, you know, let it roll off the first time. Went on a next interview, bam, the person come again and they're like, you know, you such a sweetheart, you know, I find they should say use the Sweetheart. And I'm like, but wait, somebody's saying it again. I'm like, it was a whole conversation, to be honest, because at this point several people had said it, and I asked Darryl, what do you think we should do about this, right? Because
if that had a part to play in it.
Yeah, it was a great thing, because it was great having somebody even deem you as anything at this point, right? But at the same time, that word sweetheart, I feel, could be the make or break of something.
Right.
So I was telling Darryl, I was like, how do you feel about this, right? Because on one end, it's great, I'm being deemed something, but on the next end, I done small, right? I don't want nobody watching me like, oh, well, she's just cutesy, oh, she, you know.
I got
so that was
people.
Yeah, so that was one of the concerns. Like, that was a general concern and a genuine concern, and he shared it as well. He's like, yeah, you know, there is a risk. There is a risk that it could box you into being just this adorable little thing that nobody might find is sexy or, yeah, you know? And I'm like, to hell with that, yes? I'm going to be both. I'm going to be the sweetheart, and when I feel to be out there, I'm going to be out there. When
the
I'm
alter ego.
I'm not an out there person. I know I'm talking out my mouth.
No, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Don't worry about them. They will figure it out.
It got said enough times where at this point it was like, okay, it's either you accept it or you change the narrative.
Okay.
And after having a conversation with Darryl, I was like, okay, well, I'm comfortable. We're going to accept this. We're going to accept this. We're going to embrace it. And we're going to roll with it.
Killer songs. That's not the emoji, right? So just cut it out. Want to shout out Guadalupe in the building.
Okay, correct.
Somebody from Guadalupe in the building. So, with the name, now I told your manager that I was going to touch on this, right, before. So, when you are performing in various parts of the world or on a radio interview, I am getting called. I think one time, what was it? It was some years ago. I think you were on Lyrical Show in Trinidad. I didn't even reach Trinidad yet. And you were performing, and Lady Lava messaged me and I was like, hey girl, I see you on the stage, you know, but too far in the back. And I was like, what stage? I'm in my house. What are you talking about? She was like, yeah, I see you on the stage performing. And I was like, no. And then people was like, Rane, I see you in Florida. And I was like, I did not go to Florida. I am not on the radio. I'm nowhere we all thinking I am. That's not me. That is Ray. So for everybody on the live, this is Ray. I am Rane. And the next person is Imani Ray. Imani.
Yeah.
Okay? So now we sort that out, or they get that out the way. Yeah. Right? Figure it out. So this is the reason why I added Blackman, because I didn't want to be confused. And that's not was a thing, because it was like, I was like, I don't want to add Blackman, like, you know. And then like, but that's on your birth paper. All right, add the Blackman.
Yeah.
Add the Blackman. Change the tag, because it's Ray and it's Rane. Yeah. They're getting confused. All they have to do is listen. Just listen.
No,
I say it
I
all the
could
time.
understand sonically
The
with
rain
you and I.
and rain.
Yeah, I could understand that sonically. With the Imani one, I think it's really an issue with people not taking the time to pay attention because her name is not Ray.
Right.
Her name is Imani. And she also doesn't spell the Ray with an E. She spells it with a Y. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, she's never introduced as Ray. It's always Imani Ray. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really that one is an issue with people being lazy
Yeah.
and not
Facts.
deciding to take the time. No, I don't mean it in no kind of way, but I mean it's the truth. It's really
But
people not taking
it's
the
that.
time. Yeah, it's really not people
It's
taking
like
the
an
time.
uneducated
Yeah,
opinion, you know?
you and I sonically is real difficult. Is that one is hard
Yeah.
because unless you real listening for the
Yeah.
like the
Let's not
extra
stress that
is
end.
it's gonna naturally like I had a time Adam hit me and he was like, "Yo, I was in Florida. This was maybe 2 years ago or something, or a year, not something about 2 years ago." And he's like, "Yo, I was in Florida, and they call you out to perform, and this girl come out and perform, and he's like, that is not Ray." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yes, I'm telling you." He's like, "They called you out to perform and this girl came out." And I was like, "But that's not Ray. Like, that does not look like Ray." I was like, "You probably talking about Rane." He's like, "Oh, well, I thought they say Ray." And then this girl come out and I'm like, "That is not Ray. What are they talking about?"
That
So
might
again,
pretty sure too. There was like, "You're Ray." I said, "No, Ray outside." They come back. "So who are you?" I say, "I'm Rain." "You going on next?" I said, "No, Ray going on next." And I was like, "It's have an end. It's have an end." People, Nikki only laughing.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Sonically, I really understand that one.
yeah, as y'all say, and true, people don't read it. They don't read. Like you can
Yeah.
see from post too, they don't read. So like
Mm-hmm.
a next thing I want to ask you, because I saw you made this post. So two posts I'm gonna touch on, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is you did a poll on whether your hair should be curly or straight. And that's the next thing too. Because I was like, her hair is brown, mine is black. The thing is, we are like similar in complexion and petite and all this stuff. So I could see where the but what prompted you to do the post with should my hair be curly or should it be straight?
Well, it wasn't necessarily about curly or straight, but based on the comments that people were given, I
Right.
could see how it led to that because every time I do a wig, it's usually straight.
Okay.
So that kind of, I guess, led to the curly straight conversation. It was really more about having my natural hair out versus the wig.
Okay.
So people just real hound me, like people just be in my DMs upset that I wear the wigs sometimes.
I mean, your curls
And
are juicy, so yeah.
no, and don't get me wrong, I love my curls. I have nothing against my natural hair. I love my natural hair.
Yeah.
It's just the reality is we live in a field where things need to be switched up. People want to see is this constant need to kind of jump out different kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
And big up China in the chat because that is my girl. She be holding me down with you, yo, China.
Simply
If you
China.
don't, if you're still
She's
there,
still
simply
there.
China wave. Let them know
She's still
she
there.
is part of the team. She be holding it down. But yeah. So anytime I see my wig styles, that's who doing them. But yeah, so people will be coming like, "Ray, you don't understand. Like your curls is your look. Your curls is your whole, like that's your whole package." And I'm like, I mean, I get it, but
So
and then
Ray is not to switch it up then, right? Ray is just to be curly.
well, that is how they saying it, right? That is how they mean it. But the thing too is, one, people don't understand how much time it takes to deal up with your natural hair. How much time? Yeah, and then worse yet, if you're going home for carnival now, you don't want to buy products home because it's going to cost one set of money. And then if you're bringing it now, is weight in your suitcase?
Yep.
So it's all them things,
Yeah,
that is the
Darryl,
yeah.
you
But
don't have those problems.
I did
I
right.
don't,
I
but
did
go
do
on the trips. I go on the Pennywise trips.
I did do 1 year for carnival where I used my natural hair for like the entire season, and I did everything in my power to find different ways to style that thing, and it was It was a headache though. I loved it. Like content wise, it looked great and I loved it. But what prompted me to do it is I kept getting it. Like I've been getting it. Like I've even from when I very first started and didn't even know that people were paying me any mind. I went to perform somewhere and they were like, I almost didn't recognize you because you had this style in your hair, but you see when you wear them curls, and I know fresh, I green. And I'm like, oh, this person remember my curl, like where this person jump out from. So I've been getting it from the very beginning, and then was actually requested to redo content in my natural hair. And when that happened, I was like, oh, nah, it's time to do a post. Like this needs to be discussed. Like this needs to be shared because when it reached that point, I'm like, the curls curling like that? Like
yes, they are.
yeah, so
They are.
but I didn't anticipate people to even care, like to give the feedback, to be honest. And I loved it. And I'll try and do more things like that.
So do you now think like this is your signature look now? Or you're still gonna switch it up? Because sometimes, as Nikki say, you gotta bring the Sasha face, right?
Yeah, I think I don't like to feel stagnant.
Right.
And one of the things with me is when I'm feeling like everything is just the same, something had to change, something had to spice up.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately cannot in any shape or form tell everybody I'm gonna stick to my curls.
Right.
I did tell people that I will absolutely try to find ways to embrace it a little bit more. But you're still gonna get a switch up from me. Like you have to. Like I never started wearing wigs till I started doing music.
Right.
Literally, my first wig was for Sweetest Wine music video, and I was like hooked. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this switch up. Like,
Yeah.
so I will still switch it up.
Yeah. Nikki G, he do have those problems. Just leave him. So the second post I'm touching on is one where you said, I think, not quoting it, but something along the lines that someone was like, you need to show more skin or
Yeah,
be more sexy or whatever the case. And my thing is like, what about my voice? What about what I'm singing? What about my videos? Because and I applauded how you handled that because I too got it and I was like, I wonder if the same person went at her is the same person that at me. Because I'm like, okay, all they want to see breasts, all they want to see ass. What next one they want to see, right? And like, why? What we are dishing out like vocally stuff, why that doesn't trump? Why for the female artists is always about be sexy, be sexy, be sexy. Yeah.
Disclaimer, this is no shade to anybody because I am not going to sit here and pretend like I never been on the road with my bam bam out and didn't have no videos or no photos with my bam bam out. My bam see does be out sometimes. So I'm not throwing any shade to anybody, but at the end of the day, I pride myself on that's not my thing, right? And by saying that's not my thing, because I've been asked before in an interview, a time where I did a photo shoot and it was like lingerie type look kind of vibe. And one of the questions that the interviewer asked me was, oh, are we gonna see this sexiness from Ray more? And it was a weird question because I didn't really know exactly how to take it, right? Because it's like, is it that you're trying to say that this is what will sell? Well, if I had to move slower because that is what will sell, I will gladly move slower. To each his own. Whoever out there doing it and it's working for them, hey, do your thing. Shake your bam bam, show your bam bam every day, all day, whatever you have to do. If it's working for you, kudos to you. But that is not my thing. So when somebody came now and expressed this, I was pissed off. Kind of for the same reasons as you, because I'm like, I'm busting my ass. Like, I am busting my ass. I am working. I am out here performing. I am out here doing what I have to do, entertaining, and I don't have to expose myself. So why no? Because you think I should, because imagery-wise, it would be nicer or more appealing to you. I get in my bookings, you know. I doing what I get in my music. I get so my thing is if my things is working for me, I'm not going to show more because it benefits you or what you feel fits into the category of how we should look because we in soca, how we should look because we's a Caribbean woman, or however the case may be. Ray is going to be Ray, and when Ray feels to jump out and be whatever people claim is sexy, because to me sexy is how you want sexy to be at the end of the day. It's not about, oh, my bottom was out so now I'm sexy.
Right.
It's not, oh, my breast hanging out so now I'm sexy. I wear plenty things where I feel is damn well sexy and I'm fully 100% clothed. Insert speak to movement. But no, Ray is going to do Ray, and that's why I always put the disclaimer, because I don't want nobody say, well, Ray says she don't do that, and look, she was on the road with she bottom out. Yes,
sometimes,
because when I feel to
emphasis
do it,
on the sometimes.
Exactly, because when I feel to do it, I will do it.
Yeah.
But nobody can ever say that's Ray's thing. That's how Ray gets what she gets. That's
we
how
we ain't selling sex
sells.
over here.
That's
None of that.
You're not gonna
Because
get it from me.
And you know that's the thing, the cliche thing everybody say, right? Sex sells, sex sells, sex sells. And I'm like, you don't always have to sell, because there are female artists that don't indulge in look my bam bam. I say me, I not say when I ready to show my ass, I go show my ass.
Right.
I could jump out when
Exactly.
I want to jump out. It's all about how you feel. Not every minute I'm like, ooh, I need this tones. I need this. You understand what I'm saying? So thank you for plugging that, because I needed the males on the live to hear. Focus on the voices, the music that we are dishing out, and the hard work that we are doing. No OnlyFans business. Thank you, Killer Songs.
Yeah, no OnlyFans. No OnlyFans here for me. I am.
But you're not going. Yes, I agree with all of that, but you're not going to get away from it, because we're human beings. So a lot of it is visuals as well, you know. And,
right,
and let's be real.
Sexy though.
No. I agree with everything you're saying. So I'm just saying, on top of that, is part of it too is we're visual. We're a visual, you know, community. Everything kind of goes hand in hand, you know. Is image, is talent, is proper business. Just from holistically from an artist perspective, you know. And the unfortunate thing is that women basically get, you know, boxed into that realm where the image is focused on a lot more, especially when you're doing entertainment, but not just regular entertainment. You're doing soca too, so it's a lot of body movement. It's a sexy thing, you know. It's so you're going to focus on the image, like you can't escape it, you know. But you understand your ground and give them something else to focus on too, you know.
Yeah, but too, it does come off kind of frustrating, right? Because you're like, okay, what happened? Jesse, come, Jesse, come.
Well, Jesse, that's what we waiting for. You to get more sexy for them. Nah.
Right? We need to push it to the men too, right? So, but the thing is this, at one point I told my team, I was like, listen, you see all this pressure with this, oh, you have to dress this way, you have to do this, you have to do that. I said, I will run out on a stage like coffee falling. Big baggy jeans. Hair in a mess. I'll do my hair in a mess, I'll leave my hair like real crazy. I'll say, I'll put on some big baggy jeans and a t-shirt and run out on a stage. I say,
I mean,
but we understand.
Swag.
The visual. Swag is swag. Well, we know you is Mr. Swag, right?
Nah, I know I'm there. I know I'm swag.
But Darryl, is soca the only genre of music that you presently write?
Nope. So like I said earlier on the live, like I didn't even start off in soca. I was doing pop and R&B, hip hop, all them kind of stuff. Even right now, I do a lot of R&B. I do a lot of pop music. I do a lot of Afro beats. Like I have a good bit of success in the music licensing world. You know, like a lot of my songs have been placed in like TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And even some of them with my vocals on it. You know, so. Soca, I do soca because I love soca, and I do soca because I want to be part of the movement that takes soca somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
and I want to be part of the movement that elevates it, you
Right.
know, and carries it to the uttermost parts of the world, you know. But but my my I started in soca, like I never wanted to get involved in the business of soca. Like I
No.
never wanted it.
Why is
I
that?
I loved I loved it from a patron, from a you know,
Mm-hmm.
from just a observer, from a fan perspective. I just felt like it didn't have the structure that I would have liked it, you know, in terms to do business now, you know.
He's coming.
Um,
I tell you.
what?
Nah, I think we just reading the comments.
Yeah.
Uh, who talent they need in Barbados? What are you talking about?
But we say both.
But
Nah,
yeah,
But
it's
if they want to
shiny.
know if you're
It's the
royalty,
shiny golden touch. The royal
but yeah,
shiny,
check
nah,
every.
shiny.
I really never wanted to get involved in like the business of it.
Mhm.
I back then my view of the business side of soca was like a crab in a barrel type of mentality, now, you know. There wasn't any structure. It felt like it was just it's no industry. It's like everybody's on their own personal hustle.
No,
And it's based off of traditions rather than the proper way of doing business now.
I'll pause
You
you there.
know?
I'll pause you there. Do you think
hmm
anything has changed?
Um, not necessarily. I see individually a lot of people doing the thing. You can't take away from anybody's success,
Right.
you know. But then when you think about it holistically, you see people traveling a lot more. And what I'm going to say might be a controversial comment, but the truth is, yeah, people traveling a lot, but you're traveling really for the same soca crowd, though, you know. And that's a
Got it.
real thing.
Got it.
Are you real? You're not performing in front of audiences that never
You're not
heard soca. You're
expanding
not.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not really expanding. It's just that a group of promoters might go to some other country and throw a soca
Bring the
festival there.
same crowd.
So it's the same crowd. There's really no growth, you know. You know, the growth might be very. I shouldn't say there's no growth. Soca is doing its thing, you know, and I don't want to minimize, you know, the efforts of the people who are really fighting for the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you really have to take some things with a grain of salt,
Right.
you know. I love when we go to places that the people have no idea who Ray is. I love that.
Mm.
And we've had those experiences,
Okay.
you know, and we leave with actual fans,
Because
you
your
know,
team
rather than,
is.
yeah,
Those be the best
yeah. And
ones.
I think that's something that everybody should be doing, you know. We shouldn't only be running for the big soca crowds. You had part of this is you had to teach you people the thing, you
Yeah.
know. I love when we could introduce people to the music, you know. Um, but yeah,
Well,
I can't remember what was your initial question, but yeah.
Tiny, this is behind the soca, right? So this is where we get behind the things that you would not normally hear on a regular in the parties,
I know they
backstage,
ain't gonna like what I
and
say.
no, because earlier he said you are speaking facts, College Boy. Jesse said you're speaking facts, Killer Songs. They all agreed with you, and Killer Songs is saying your writing skills is what's needed in Barbados.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I asked you if soca was the only music that you write presently, and then
Yeah,
you hit on a point, and I had to ask if you think anything has changed because a
gotcha,
lot of
gotcha.
people think it's still crab in a barrel type of thing, and there's no cohesiveness and nobody coming together and pushing it. But
hmm
so from then when you first started writing for, I think you said Kes was the first artist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How did you connect with Kes and Patrice? Like, how did that come about?
Cass, so I I was writing for an award-winning artist from Canada. His name was Jordan. Big up to Jordan. And he wanted some Caribbean influence, like R&B pop records.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was writing these, because he could sing, you know. But when I was writing one of the songs, my inspiration for writing the song was Kes. So I kind of studied Kes, you
Oh,
know. And so even the cadence and everything, I was thinking Kes, you know.
mm-hmm.
But because I always looked at Kes as one of the artist that could transition the smoothest, because he had a style that was palatable to the masses. He
Right.
could easily go commercial if he wanted to. But Kes fights for his culture, but he blends everything that he grew up on with it as well. So Kes is rock man, R&B man, all them kind of things. So when I wrote this song, I was thinking Kes, and then when the guy, he cut the record, he did it, but I wasn't getting the sauce that I want to hear on it now.
Right.
I wasn't
Because
getting this, yeah.
one
He
particular.
didn't have them Caribbean slangs and, it sounded like, a foreigner trying to say the slang,
Right.
And I had a meeting, one music executive that I was networking with in New York, put me onto one of his colleagues in Trinidad. And when I had the meeting with his colleague, it turned out to be Kess's old management. But they also knew me too.
Okay.
And I played them the record that I did for the Canadian artist, and they were like, you know Kess well or what? I was like, we met once, but I don't know him like that. It's like, bro, you wrote this like you're in his head.
Right.
And I think Kess called me like maybe 2 weeks later, and he was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to tell you. He was like, I think your pen is needed in the game right now. You write this like, like you saw the future of where it could already go, and that's why I need all my team. And from then it was, I was his go-to guy, and then we became friends too, so I'm a dog. Patrice, I think once you start writing for one of the A-listers, the truth is, again, they would know a tree by its fruits, right?
Right.
So once somebody starts seeing your fruit, everybody else kind of want the fruit. Everybody else want to try. And that's just, and I'm not saying that is what Patrice did, but that is kind of how it goes in soca. You see what this guy had in his catalog this year. Everybody wants to know, well, who write that? Our vibe like that, and so it goes. So people start reaching out after that. And at this point, you kind of build your catalog, and you've basically been writing for everybody ever since.
So you mentioned that you wrote Afrobeats. Did you write Camera?
Who's Camera? Where's Camera?
The name of the song is Camera. Patrice and
No. I didn't do Camera.
Okay.
I did Tender for Patrice.
Right.
Tender was my version of soca meets Afrobeats. I did a collab with Kes and Wizkid, and Walshy Fire, and they called Baby Consider. So that was one of my first commercial Afrobeat records.
I know that.
Wasn't something that was big in Trinidad, but
I know this
it was a big song over there.
I didn't even know
Yeah. And I remember writing it. I think I wrote it on the way to Cuba for a writing camp with Kes himself. But yeah, but I would say that I'm very versatile in most genres. The only thing I never write is like goth music.
Goth?
That's the only thing. Yeah, goth and Hindi, like the Bollywood type stuff.
Yeah.
I never do that.
Yeah. So, Nikki, he's asking, what advice would you give to foreign artists trying to sing soca, wanting to break into our market and be accepted?
I would tell them, do what I did. I study every genre that I write. Like I sit and study it like a student. So I think first study the culture. Even as a songwriter, that's kind of your job, right? You have to do your research. You have to get to know every genre has characteristics.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of study the genre, study the culture around it, the slangs, how people move. Find somebody in the culture that you love and appreciate their body of work, and even study them too. Yeah, that would be my advice to them for sure.
And Leslie Christmas wants to know, what do you suggest can enhance the expansion of soca and other cultural music?
I definitely think we need more unity in the thing. More open, honest, more open, honest conversations.
Yeah.
and not just a few people trying to eat. I think a lot of open, honest conversations need to happen um, to really activate real change. I think there's a mentality that exists in soca music right now that it really kind of starts from with that changing of a certain mindset because that mindset affects the consumer, it affects the DJs, the program directors, the artists, it affects everybody. And that's because as much as they try to break out of it, it's still basically a subset of carnival.
Right.
So that seasonality in the thinking is very hard
What
to
can
break
a
out of.
song say?
You know,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to break out of. Now, soca playing right through the year, but that's really because everywhere have a carnival. Every month have a carnival. You know, and the soca songs that stream really well are the songs that are not associated with a carnival per se in terms of the content.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because you're talking about everyday things, and it's a song like let's be real. There's certain songs. If you're going through something, you're not going to put on certain songs. But if
Right.
you're in the gym, you want to hear certain songs when you're in the gym.
Yes.
You know. So you think like for me personally, and I know I'm jumping on different things too, but
Jump
for me
around.
personally, I try to write things that could be universal. I every time I put pen to paper, I think longevity. I think legacy. You know, is this something I could be proud of 10 years down the road? Is
Yeah.
this something that could play any time of the year, no matter if you're in a party or just driving home? What you want to hear when you're driving home? You know,
Yeah.
like I think like that. I want to talk about life and real things, you know.
I would say
Um,
when you're driving home, make sure you listen to Behind the Soca because it'll be posted on the YouTube channels. And I know we touch on a lot of stuff. Shouts to Private Ryan and the life. We touch on a lot of
Big up,
stuff.
Ryan.
So, make sure you're tuning to that. Nikki G, that question will be for Darryl Gervais. I am all up for it. I think
what
that
is
would
that?
be awesome. When Ray and Rane do that song. Because
Who who is who
You
is
asking when me
Ras?
and Darryl, or you asking who's who?
okay, so
Oh,
yeah, I know. I don't know who it is, but they're saying so. You forget to tell the aspiring soca artists be ready to pay dues. No, don't worry.
No, no, no. I don't believe in that paying
Yeah,
dues. That paying dues
yeah.
thing. That is a kind of that is a trauma mentality.
Mm, mm.
That's like if I suffer, you had to suffer too. So why going through, you had to go through that too. So I sing 10 free shows, you had to sing 10 free shows.
You
Pay your
know
but
dues.
what?
That is what that mentality
anyway,
Just
I
is. And I hate that.
I want to say
That's
something, but I'm
trauma.
not gonna say it. Nikki G she said Darryl when you and I doing a song.
oh, when Darryl and Ray doing that
Oh,
song.
when
Okay.
me and
Yeah,
Ray doing that song, we could do
I
that
thought
song
she said
anytime.
Ray and Rain.
yeah.
We could
Singing.
do that song
He been singing.
anytime.
But
So I wanted to. I'm reluctant to say it just because I know how he is. But as far as the
Yeah, but
pay
we
the
not
dues
doing that,
thing,
bro.
right? Uh, so that's sort of what I'm gonna say, right? As far as paying the dues, right? I don't think I don't think that it's something that should exist.
Right.
Number one, but I do believe that there's a lot of how to put this. Um, there's a lot of bigger artists that don't really allow you to do it anyway other than paying your dues because the door is not being held open for the artists that are trying to come through. Now, I don't know if I shoot myself in the foot, but
I mean, that don't,
um,
you think that even applies to us though? Like
I'm
we've
not
been
saying
doing pretty good, yeah.
yeah, but we've also done a lot. It's limited in who's, let's say, willing to help, right?
you're
It's
right.
not to say
Mhm.
everybody's out there
Yeah.
and willing to help, right?
Time stressed
So
out and
there's
come.
right. So there's that. But then at the end of the day, I'm not saying necessarily me, but other people that I could see as well, I have eyes as well,
Right.
may not have the same benefits, may not have the same outcome because not enough doors are being held open. So
Mhm.
by force, in a sense, they kind of paying the dues because they fighting for it until maybe they end up getting maybe some kind of hit that just so big that they can't really, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's a funny thing, you know. It's a funny thing because here's what it is to it. There's a lot of levels to being an artist. Part of it too, like I see artists fighting for years, right? Fighting for years. And it could be that they just never had the right team around them. Or it could be that they never get good quality songs. Or the third thing that you may not want to acknowledge is people just ain't feeling you like that. You're
Yeah,
fighting it.
I
You're
remember that.
real fighting it, you know?
figure truth and shame to them.
No, I mean, I could talk freely. Nobody can really come for me. I could back up everything I'm saying. But that's our next part of it that people doesn't want to acknowledge. Now, if that is your dream and your goal and you want to, you know, fight it till you're laying in a casket, by all means, if you believe that's your purpose, then do it. But that's a big part of the equation that you have to watch too. It's like people really even feeling me like that, but like people not on you, you know, and that is the reality of some artists face. People
As
not
you,
on you.
so as you mentioned, the songs that you're putting out or you're getting, are you one of those writers that say, I go in and hold this from a top artist and I go and this I go just give the crumbs to the whoever coming in.
Nah, here's how I operate. It's nothing concrete in any way. You know, if an artist sends me a beat and asks me to write something for them on this, that is who I'm focused on. If I just write in songs and I don't just write songs and pitch it randomly to people. I write with intent and purpose, you know. But if I have something that's already there and written and I feel like it could fit as artists, that's who it will go to. But for the most part, like a lot of the hits came from none of the hits that I have on my belt right now was just a song sitting down somewhere and I just give it to somebody.
Okay.
Most of them were the artist sent me a beat or a project that they wanted, write a tune for me on this week. So when I write them for them, I go in and it's for them, you know, and I write it with anybody else in mind, you know.
Right.
But if they don't like the song, then somebody else getting that, and that's going to add value to somebody else's career.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there's get
Yeah.
vexed, and it happened plenty
I
times.
want
They get vexed after.
I want to address for the love of soca. Maybe my
Yeah.
choice of word was wrong when I said crumbs. Darryl may not have crumbs, but I'm asking him if he is one of those writers because there are writers that I will give this big artist this song because they go execute it and sing well and whatever. And the upcoming artist, I will give them this. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So that's
I
why.
treat every artist the same way.
Right.
And I write to the best of my ability for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that. We can tell. So
I don't hold back.
prior to adding yours to the live, I ran songs. One of the songs I ran was one of the songs I played, I should say, was My Behavior. I don't know if you recall that song that I wrote.
I remember, yeah.
That song that I spray paint my body. That was the
I
most
remember
jump
the
out.
song.
And
Right.
people thought it was a bodysuit and stuff. And yeah, so Darryl Gervais, you know, I didn't know about him, and he was like, hey, you know, I think this was before you even wrote for it, I'm not sure. And he was like, hey,
it was around the same time.
around the same time, and
Yeah.
you know, he was like message me and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I have a song, I ain't quite sure, maybe you could refix it. You do that? Yes. So My Behavior came about, and it was all right again. So yeah, I'm feeling this, and it was a nice groovy song. So do you focus on groovy, or you will write power, you'll write in between, or your niche is groovy?
Nah, I mean, what I favor is groovy, you know, and that's just my preference. I think groovy has the tendency to live longer than power soca by far, and anybody could fight me on that too. But groovy has more longevity in it. It streams better, it lasts longer, it's more palatable, you know. In our wider market, it's more palatable.
Yeah.
You know, power soca is great. I'm not fighting power soca, but my preference, if I have to write, is groovy, but I can write power soca. Either one could get.
I don't
You know?
doubt it, eh? I
Yeah.
don't doubt it. I just know that most people they will have this niche. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I would. So, how is it? Do you think I should say working with your artist Ray because you penned most of her songs, her releases? So,
Yeah.
is, is it easier
Penned
for
and co-penned. Yeah.
Okay, so is it easier for you to write for Ray than all the other artists that that you normally work with because
Um,
you know her so well?
yeah, I mean that has a huge part to play in it. Like any songwriter with anybody that they build a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like being a great songwriter, you have to be the person's friend. You want to be their confidant. You want to sit and listen. You have to be in a position to observe. You have
Right.
to be in a, you have to know the person. So like my relationship with Ray, like I know a lot about her. I have been in position to observe how she moves, how she talks,
Mm-hmm.
so it's easy now for me to write for her. Just like it's easy for me to write a song for
Right.
Kes. Like I know him, I know his cadence and all them things. So yeah, a huge part of being able to work with somebody properly is getting to know them. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
um, getting to know them personally, but also getting to know them in the artist realm of things. So yeah.
Somebody's just loving everything that you're saying. Like they're just loving everything that you're dishing out. So Ray, if you were not singing soca, what other profession would you have been doing?
Mm. I would probably be a counselor, a psychologist.
Mm, I could see that. First,
Yeah.
school psychologist or
Either one. School psychologist or like having my own private
Mhm.
practice. I have a degree in counseling, and it's definitely something that I'm passionate about.
Good.
So, and actually prior to doing the music, it was a debate like, do I want to go back to school, get my master's, and kind of, I wanted to maybe visit this idea of having like a little private practice. But I think the passion was just a little heavier for the music. But if I wasn't doing that, I think the choice would have been to go back and get my master's and really see through the counseling aspect.
How about Ray, the soca counselor?
I mean, if people get to know me, then it might end up that way anyway
Because
because
we
we
need
deal
the
to talk
counseling.
and
We need
right.
it.
So hold on. Ole Hammer has
This
the
fan
soca
accent right
The
hairdresser.
there.
soca,
Ole Hammer has the soca counselor.
the soca hairdresser and the soca counselor. Remember now, everything that comes out of your mouth comes to fruition, eh?
Yeah,
Life
that's
and death
true.
in the
That's
power of
true.
your tongues.
Yeah,
Words
yeah,
have
Okay,
power.
yeah.
okay then. So, counsel them through the music. Exactly, music is therapy.
I
There
like
you
that
go.
That's
person.
facts. That's
That
facts,
person
though.
answered.
Yeah, so I have a question as a
Mhm.
songwriter. Do you ever feel empty? Because you pour so much of yourself into other people. Wow, that's very that touching.
It's to me it's more than just being as a songwriter because I feel like that and I think it's part of who I am too. I feel like generally I pour a lot into other people.
Yes.
Um so so like no relationship could exist without reciprocity. Like it's impossible, you know. But as a songwriter, constantly pouring into other people's brands and other people's catalog. Um, yeah, I think there are moments where you feel kind of drained and you feel kind of beat, but that's where, self-care comes in. You kind of have to learn to manage your time. Don't make yourself too accessible. You have to know when it's time to take a step back and learn to tell people no sometimes, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. Somebody getting in trouble on that side of the camera.
Yeah, yeah,
I
man.
see
You
it
see my face.
on your face. Yeah. Somebody who annoying you. Leave she alone. She alive. Be angry in your bed.
Why when you listening to okay, I guess they're saying that other song.
Yeah.
Wait.
why when you listen to it, what a
Like
song last?
another song, it lasts longer when you listen to a new song. It's the last shot.
Okay, I don't know. You
I
have to
think
come back with that.
I understand what you're trying to say,
Okay,
but
go ahead.
that's just how the brain works, I guess. You you listen to the stuff that you're more familiar with longer, because unless you're listening with the intent to see if you really like it, and sometimes you just browse through the new stuff.
Older song. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Then I think I meant to say older song. So,
yeah, yeah.
Ray,
Yeah.
from the time 2019 to now, how many songs are in your catalog? Because somebody was asking about your catalog and all this. How many songs are in your catalog, and how many of the songs in your catalog have you written?
It's definitely
Hey,
over
how much
20
we talk
songs.
now?
And the only reason I even know that is because recently I had reposted like the whole catalog,
Alright.
but songs had come out
Mm.
since then. And at that time, it was 20 songs. So it's definitely over 20 songs. As far as wrote, it would be Don't Blame Me, Chemistry, Whining Degree. The truth is it. So how Darryl and I work is like this, right? Darryl gets a beat and he'll send it to me, and the first thing will be, what do you want to see? Right?
Mm.
So a lot of these songs that is out, maybe not the early stuff, because the early stuff was just like this is what it is.
Mm.
But a lot of these songs is the concepts that I wanted for the song. And then it would be a back and forth of, what do you want to say? And he
Right.
would just be better at articulating what it is that I need to say on this song. Some of the songs that I also wrote on is not even out yet. So I'm definitely trying to get more involved in it. I'm a very hands-on person. I don't ever like to feel like I just there to put on an outfit, go on the stage and
Right.
sing, right? I want to be part of the behind the scenes. I want to be a part of the process. That's how I enjoy it more. Like when I know that I was so completely involved in creating this song, when I know that he took all my thoughts and he said exactly how I needed it to be said. Like those are the songs that mean the most to me. When it's songs where we actually sat down and we wrote those songs together, those are the songs that mean more to me. And I still love all the songs because he's not
Right.
bad at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? But those just have a deeper place in my heart because I'm part of the experience. I'm part of the whole process to, enjoy it a little better.
Mm-hmm. Darryl, I know you read the
What?
question.
Yeah, no, see, they asked a really good question
Yeah.
though. But nah, I don't think I ever had to really deal with imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think at this point let's read it. The question was, like, just like actors may develop an attachment to a character and it can cause possible imposter syndrome, do you feel that same way as you have to adapt or take on the persona for others? Nah, I don't, I am like, I know what are my thoughts as opposed to what I'm trying to embody for an artist in order to get the demo right for them. But I think that also comes with experience. So, but nah, on I've never, had to experience that.
So, Ray, you've
Mm-hmm.
collaborated with Alamo and Sheem,
Jesse too,
I just
College Boy
did.
Jesse.
and
Yeah.
by Jesse.
Mm.
So any other artists that you have in mind to collaborate with in the future? This was the question way up, up, up.
Yeah.
I said,
Um,
wait.
so we definitely have some collabs coming.
Mhm.
Um, but of course, I wouldn't be vexed with a collab with Cass Soap with,
I mean, I was,
to be
I kind of waiting for that to know. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
yeah,
it's like, come on, Darryl, put it together.
but nah, we definitely have some collabs coming. The truth is I don't work with the idea of everything. I need to get a collab. I need to get a collab. I need to get a collab. It's really, to me, whatever comes and happens and naturally occurs. I love it. I embrace it. And until those things happen, is me building Ray the brand. It's me building the craft. It's me making sure that when it comes with whoever it comes, I am more than equipped to execute whatever I need to execute. And give you guys a quality song. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it coming, it have some coming, and like I say who I say. So
as you're talking about Ray the brand, now I know I have my logo with the hair, because my hair was like, you know how your hair is with the curly and the afro. I made the logo like to look like me. The glasses, the hair is actually music notes, the lipstick, everything, and it's like a head and it's Rane. So you also have your line,
yeah.
and it's very unique. So just tell them about your line.
So I have Ray, real authentic energy, right? So I always knew that I wanted to start getting involved in like doing merch and things like that eventually, but I wanted it absolutely to say Ray, but I wanted to give people something that even if they didn't want to associate it to Ray the artist,
Right,
that they could associate it to something else, but it had to still mean something to me. It had to still make sense.
Yeah.
And for all my life, everybody would always be telling me like, "Oh my God, you're so authentic. You're so this. You're so that." Like these are the words that I would hear, and I'm like, "Well, what Ray could mean, boy? Like, oh, you're so real. You're so this." And I say, sit down, and I just start typing out a bunch of words. Like I probably blow up Darryl's phone one day with just typing out real different versions of RAE and what it could stand for.
Right.
And when real authentic energy was one of the ones that I typed out, it just fit. Like it made sense. Everything about it felt like it represented me, but at the same time, I also felt like it's something that people would want to get behind. It's something that people would also feel and gravitate to, and things like that. So Ray also now is real authentic energy.
Yeah, oh, they hear that, right?
Nikki, do you have a real good question for you there?
I
don't know if you
any
can
destination
answer
performances
on your bucket list.
On my bucket list. The first place that comes to mind, honestly, is Dubai. That's the very, very first place that comes to mind. I think having that would just blow my mind. Like, because in general, I would love to visit Dubai, but on top of that, to visit it and then be there to perform, that's like the icing on the cake. That would definitely do it for me.
Yeah, and as you say, not only to perform but to explore, not necessarily
Right.
in and out.
Exactly. Right. So if it is anybody, the universe, hear me. If it is all you're booking me to come for Dubai, do not book my ticket to go back home the day after I perform, please. Only give me 2 days. Give me just 2 days. That's all I'm asking for.
As Killer Song said, and here in surf management.
Right.
So my question for Darryl, before somebody else jump with a question, when it comes to charging for songs, right? And apparently the word on the street is you're a hefty price to pay, because I had two producers and Kyle and Casey on a couple of weeks ago. And I said, you know, I did this song with Darryl Gervais, and they was like, you want money? And I was like, okay, don't pay it only. No, promoters still pay the artists, please, thank you. Just so you know. Yes, so when it comes to charging for songs, do you charge young and upcoming artists the same price that you charge well-seasoned artists?
It varies, but for the most part, yes. But I'm very reasonable to deal with. So if you genuinely can't make, then we could have a conversation and I could work out something for you. But you see, the truth is, the thing is this. I work very hard to acquire the skills that I have, and that is my price point. Whether you're a new artist or a seasoned artist, I still have to do the same work. It's the same work. Nothing changing for me, you know. The difference is the artist. So if I'm doing the same work, then I working with the same value that I put on my work. But I'm very reasonable to work with. So if you can't make what I value my songwriting at, then have the conversation. Don't just run off with your tail between your legs. Just say, boss, I can't, I don't think I could make with that.
Yeah.
You think you could meet me in the middle somewhere? Like how we could work it out, and we'll work it out. I'm not a beast. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do payment plans and stuff like that, or no?
I never wanted to, but I have done it for people before in more recent times, you know, but I don't like it. I like when I
Yeah.
finish and you like. My thing is, my job is done once I wrote the song and you like the song. My work done.
All right.
Right? I shouldn't have
Except
to
for
wait.
me, it
I'm not
doesn't.
your, I'm, I'm not your utility bills. I am not that. I am not your electrical or your water bill. I'm not
Yo,
your
you
gas bill.
hard, yo, you hard.
No.
Know yourself, know your waiter.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Mark Dingle is my brother. Yeah, but yeah, nah, but nah, and you kind of have to stand on your thing. You see, if it's too easy to attain, people don't respect it. You
Uh-huh.
have to have a value on your thing.
Yeah.
You know, if everybody could afford you, then the respect goes out the window there at some point, you know, because you're easily attainable, you know. But at the end of the day, you stand on quality, you stand on it with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I think my fruit is clearly seen and it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you don't get to that type of recognition just so if you're a fluke, you
Mm.
know. It's hard work and you build good relationships with people. So,
I just want to let
you know.
people on the live know, Ray is not a bank. She don't give loans. So stop asking for the loans. Right? She don't own a financial institution. Okay?
Share over
What
20
we talking
songs.
about? What we
Ray, how did
uh,
you feel to be nominated for the Impact Award and the Best New Artist Award for the Caribbean Music Awards?
um it honestly felt amazing, and the nomination by itself was the reward for me, right?
Yeah.
And I say that because we doing this, we working, we putting in a lot of work, a lot of time, we're making a lot of sacrifices, and you don't often actually hear from anybody, hey, you're doing a good job, or
Mhm.
hey, I see the growth, or hey, I think this, or I think that. You're kind of just going. So having that nomination to me means something is being seen,
Right.
something that you are doing is working, something that you are putting out is valuable, something that you are putting out is great to somebody, several people, right? Because it's not to say it's just like, oh, they pick you out from a hat or whatever. They have their
Yeah.
whatever process that happens.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say that's the reward in and of itself, because I think about the behind the scene moment that happened to get the nomination to begin with, and
Right.
to have the recognition.
Yeah.
And then to be in the category with the people that I'm in the category with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To have everybody that's working, to have these big season artists that I'm in a category with them, and I'm like, I win. I win already. All don't give me no trophy. But
Okay.
who I in category with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just a lot of gratitude. It's just a lot of excitement, and like I say, the nomination for itself was rewarding for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's personally how I took
I know. I was like, oh, okay, they're watching. Oh, okay.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
And
Like, I didn't
that
know. Somebody messaged me and was like, hey, you make it to the list on Caribbean Music. Hear me? What? Yeah,
That's how I find out too.
yeah, I was
My
like,
family sent it in a chat and was like, hey, Olio Reagan nominated in 2 categories. I was like, nominated for what? In what categories? What are you talking about? And then when I clicked the link, I was
that's
like, oh,
because we
okay,
so
you know?
busy working now. We
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
but you know
Somebody,
it's always a beautiful thing when you know because sometimes I would imagine artists feel like they're feeling like they're running in place. There's a lot of moments where they feel like nothing not happening, but
like,
then
does
moments
anybody
like that happen
care?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
moments like this happen now where you actually feel like okay, somebody did recognize, somebody seeing, they observing, and now you start to feel a little better about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, and
Again,
I think it's a
that
beautiful thing. I
nudge.
think things like that is necessary, that recognition of works.
Yeah, it does nudge you. It does. It's
Yeah.
like when you
Yeah.
feel like, boy, it ain't getting easier. And then you see that
Yeah.
you're like, okay,
And sometimes them things come in the moment just when you need it. Just when you're sitting there
Yeah.
like, yeah, you see me, like, I fed up, like, this thing, and then boom, you see that, and it's like, nah, you cannot. You had to keep pushing. You had to keep going.
No,
I
did.
just wanted to say thank you to Killer Sounds. He said that my energy was very magnetic, and I didn't want it to go unnoticed, so I just wanted to say thanks.
I tell you, watch out for Killer Song. I told it people to pay attention to it. Like, I just want to say, like, I had intentions of coming, but it was some miscommunication with the email. It was like, we'll send you tickets, and on the day I was like, no tickets. Yeah, I ain't going. I'm not going somewhere to them to be like, no, you're not on this list, and I don't like embarrassment. So I was like, no. College boy Jesse was like, how come I didn't see you there? I was like, I didn't get any tickets. This is me in a comment, right? I didn't get any tickets, and then people was like, no, you had to come, and I was like, the person said they were sending tickets. Like, I'm not going to be.
Yeah, I think some people got the tickets via email, and some people got physical tickets when they came, because I had gotten mine via email, and most of them got physical tickets, and I was confused because then I was like, so are they going to take my email? Because I was like, I'm confused, but everything worked out. So I just come.
Yeah, at that point, I didn't want to miss my call time too. I had next event.
Yeah.
It was kind of like but you performed on Fox 5 News in DC, Washington DC, several times. You performed on Pix 11 in New York for Labor Day. How did it feel for you, like, representing Trinidad and Tobago and Carnival on those platforms? Like, what was the feeling?
I was honestly scared. I don't get nervous plenty anymore, but for some reason those kind of performances does have me real nervous. Because you're talking about a different reach, right? You don't know how many people is locked into them screens. You don't know how many people, everybody have opinions, you know, you're opening up yourself in a different kind of way now.
Right.
But at the same time, I know that I'm there for a purpose. And my purpose is to put on for the culture. My purpose is to put on for myself and represent myself and what I've been working for and what we've been building all this time. So while it's scary, it also is still an amazing, honorable, like, moment, because I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm here. And the Pix 11 one, like, this one is New York now. So now on Labor Day, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is insane. And then it just felt so, like, surreal having people messaging me after I came off, and they're like, oh my God, we just saw you on the news, blah, 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 because my brain was so in the, you go in there, you had to get this done. Like, I focusing on the song, the moment, making sure I have my flag. I need my flag. Like, that's the one thing I'm like, where's my flag? I need my flag. My flag has to be there with me on that television stage. That I didn't even remember to tell too many people, like, hey guys, tune in to Pix 11, you know, I'm going to be on blah, 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 blah. So when I started getting messages and DMs and posts and stuff like that, I was like, oh my God, like, these people saw this, and getting their feedback felt really, really good. And it made me feel proud because I felt like I represented right. I felt like I represented in a way that I could have been proud of, my manager could have been proud of, and everybody else seeing and knowing that I'm representing for the culture could not have said, well, oh, she go on there and this is how she make me look good. This is how she represents us, you know.
Because you definitely brought Sasha face.
With the wig and all, you know?
Everything. So if I'm not mistaken, Darryl, you have writing master classes still going on?
Yeah, I do classes from time to time. I teach and stuff. Sometimes, you know, do it with you know, you partner up with different entities and you do it. Or sometimes like a government organization might, you know, be behind it, you know. But it's good. I think teaching is a big part of the calling too. And I really enjoy that. I think that's one of the things that I feel very purpose filled, you know, about, you know. I like it, I enjoy it. I don't know when the next one will be yet though, but
you saw the question. They want to know when They want to know when again. So Ray is saying your Labor Day performance was on point. I'm believing that's what they're saying.
Sorry.
Labor Day
sorry.
was on.
Thank you. So, I appreciate that. It had somebody sorry, not to cut
No,
you off, Rane. It had somebody that asked something earlier that I thought was a good question. They
that
asked, how do I navigate some of the chaos and unnecessary drama in the industry? Um,
does it
the
even
short
come to you? That's the question.
lately, it didn't used to, but for the most part, I don't really want parts of that. I don't really try to deal up in any of that. Sometimes it gets difficult. I'm a human being. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's hard to filter out someone bringing you what somebody else said, or somebody telling you this was
In this
somebody's
day and
opinion. And there's a lot of things that even for yourself you have to question, how valid is this? How many people did this jump through before it reached me? There's a lot of those things that you have to ask yourself when it happens. So for the most part, I'm not gonna lie to all you and ever say I never slip up and respond back to anything, because like I say, I'm a human being, and sometimes there's very little things that there's when I say little, there's very few things that will move me to actually need to respond. And those things that will move me to respond is when you mess with my livelihood and when you mess with my family.
yeah.
So anytime you get any response from Ray, know that somebody was either messing with my livelihood or
Don't
they was messing with my
touch my
family. But
butter or my bread.
yeah,
Mhm.
but for the
Mhm.
most part, I really try to just keep to myself, because I realize, and even watching it happen, that there's a lot of this person say this person say that, and in my brain I'm like, but how you know they say that? If this person is coming to you and saying X, there's a lot of nobody wanting to address anything directly. So because of that, a
Yeah.
lot of drama and a lot of things get built up, and a lot of rumors and a lot of lies build, because nobody wants to say, hey, woman to woman, man to man, man to woman, let we have a conversation. And because that doesn't happen, I don't know why. I don't know if people are afraid of that, but I really just try to stay out of it. And if there's ever moments where I'm itching
Better you
because
than
something
me.
is being said, Darryl be like, hey, Gil. And that's
Pop
it.
filter.
Yeah.
Eh?
Because that's the thing.
Pop filter.
I don't talk, I don't I don't really talk to people about, like, I don't like to gossip. And if I have something that's on my soul and on my heart that gets in me vexed, to be honest, Darryl will be the one that has to take that and deal with it, and then it out, right?
Mhm.
So unless he puts it out there,
Yeah.
for the most part, my mouth seal, my mouth zip. I don't deal up in the chaos, and I really try to stay far from it.
The thing
Yeah.
is, if you see,
Depending on what it is too, depending on what it is, you learn to either, just put that to the side and put your blinders on and you focus. But
yeah,
it has some things, even for me, um, depending on what it is, I will check you, I will meet you and talk to you. Because it has certain things I'm not playing, you know,
yeah. I don't.
depending on what
I'm
it
shocked.
is.
I like, because I always tend to think like I am so naive to what goes on in the business, and I don't really like mix and get in and click up and stuff. So when I hear things going on, I'm like, what? And where was I? Oh wow, how over here? Okay, cool. Now if somebody call me and like, this person's blocking you from this show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm dollar when I
Mhm.
see the next event, I'm coming at you,
Mm-hmm.
just so you know.
Yeah,
It's just
If I being
like I
honest, yeah,
say, you're
I
taking
wish.
you yeah, like I say, you're playing with my livelihood or you're playing
Yeah.
with my family, then you'll get a different side of me. But for the
yeah.
most part, you could don't like me, you could pretend like me, you could do whatever you want. Once I doing what I had to do and you ain't standing in my way, you could say all you want. It
It's
don't matter to
like
me.
I
A lot of
always tell
people
people,
don't know me well enough to even talk anything personal. So anything that even comes back to me, I'm like, clearly have no idea about
right.
anything. So it's
I just
nothing to me.
say, if I open my fridge and my cupboard and my front door and I don't see you, it don't matter. I'm very
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Nah, it's true.
But I want to
If
say,
if if I'm actually aware of somebody actively trying to block something from us or from me or from Ray in particular, that's something you have to deal with a certain way.
yeah,
Outside, you know what I just pay attention to or try to get to the root of. I always observe to see and I ask questions to see if there was malicious intent.
okay.
I look at the intention, I mean, like why you do that? What was the intention? why else getting at to do that? Like, why you say that?
I mean,
You know,
I
because
think
people do things to try and sow seeds and things, and I always think about what's the intention?
Yeah.
And if
I
your
think if
intent
we
was malicious, I change how I move with you.
Yeah.
I think if we stay in the mind frame of this phrasing block, to me that's malicious, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other way for that to be seen, taken. If you are
But I'm talking
blocking
generally
somebody
too,
from
not
some,
just with the
oh, okay,
blocking.
I thought you was
Yeah.
referring to the
Yeah.
blocking. I'm like, I don't think there's any other way. You're blocking, you're
Yeah.
blocking. You're trying to take something away from somebody. But not that to clarify.
No,
Yeah.
this is
Mhm.
Behind the Soca, and I will be very transparent. This is my platform here, right? 'Cause I like to make sure everybody comfortable. In the earlies, when you just came out, people were calling my phone. You need to. This is why I asked about the sexy thing. You need to skin and you need to do this because you see this new artist here, Ray, and this is what she doing and that what she doing. And I'm like, and what are you calling Ray and telling Ray about me? Huh? I was like, don't come at me with that because this is my thing. We are all on a mission to do what we love.
Yeah.
So when people that, and I just felt like, why are you trying to make something out of nothing? Like, why are you trying to cause confusion? I didn't like that at all. I hate.
But I'll be honest with you, I never got that. Like
Yeah, them kind of
nobody's
things
ever
never come our way.
Yeah, like I don't know if maybe that was I don't know who was coming. You know how to talk name or nothing like that. But on my end, nobody ever came and said, "Oh, you see this person," or "You see that." Like that, that never came to my side. So it was never for me anything.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time I ever even learned about the idea that people, I guess, were comparing us, you were the one who actually talked to me.
And
I think it was Nessa. Yeah. And that was the first time ever. That was the first time ever. And still up to this day, the most I will get is the confusion of sonically how our name sound. That is the most I will get.
Afraid to come and talk to you because
Me?
in the party I saw Darryl, right? No, because you see, remember at that time, that was how much years ago, I studied the controversy this person is bringing into my head. I'm like, so what are they telling y'all? So I was like, and for a while, I used to be, because I'm a real friendly outgoing person, but for a while, I used to be like, say hi, don't say hi. Like, don't say hi, say hi. Seriously. And I dealt with Darryl before even knowing of you, but still seeing him with you. And I think one time I was like, I could talk to the artist, you know, like, because
I remember when you did that. I was like, yeah, dude, so
I
know.
Take a picture. No, because I hadn't known my. If there's a line, there's a line.
Yeah.
You understand? And then again, as I was saying, people were bringing things to me, and then I cut it off because I was like, I don't like shit like that. I don't like it, and I just cool and normal with everybody. So why are you doing this? It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think some people.
On my end, it was nothing because I was not getting that. I like it was not. So it's funny how even something like that again could refrain from people communicating because on your end it's happening to you. You thinking it's happening back on the other side, or worse yet, when they come into me and me, I didn't normal. Nobody has at this point. Nobody has ever come up to me and said anything regarding you comparing like nothing. So you could have just come up to me normal, and I would have. I mean, you did eventually.
Yeah.
But that's my point. It's like I'm normal. Like I say,
don't pass all you know it.
I don't vex with nobody. I don't have nothing against nobody. Like I say, once you're not messing with my livelihood and my family, everybody could be a respecting. Everybody could be a cool. That don't mean we had to be best friends. Nothing like that. But it would have the respect. Once those two lines get crossed, the respect changes, and that is really as simple as it comes with me.
Once I know you, like I said, once I know you have malicious intent in your dealings, I I I place you where you need to be placed.
Yes.
But I think for the most part, just to jump on what you was talking about there, people sometimes can't help but compare. And I don't know if sometimes they think they're being helpful, but what you're really doing is you're sowing seeds of discord.
Right.
You're sowing seeds of doubt. You know, you're causing the artists who you're comparing and complaining to, you're causing them to doubt the self and thing too, you know. And you really had to, you know, separate the sheep from goat there and figure out who you want around here.
Yeah.
People will come and tell me things, but from a managerial perspective.
Right.
Nobody can come to me with gossip and things just
Yeah.
so, and they can't come to me with old talk. You can't come to me to plain, you can't come to me and try to bad talk my artist. You can't come to me and try to muddy the waters. And
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I have a serious demeanor, right? But I
Yes.
real cool, I laugh and thing. But my face, I can't help but my face be serious, especially when I'm out handling
Yes.
business. So I think people think twice to come to, like, you're not going to come to me with nonsense just so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, 'cause I'll put you in your place. So, you know, but you can't escape certain things. People will compare and people will try to, I don't know if it's just in their nature or if they think
I
they're being
hated
helpful,
it.
you
Hated
know?
it till I said stop calling me. If you have nothing productive to say, do not call me. I hated
Yeah.
it, hated it, hated it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah,
But
nothing good to say nothing.
let
I
us
hate comparisons.
it's when it's a comparison, is the killer of joy or something like that. It happens to
Mm-hmm.
you.
Something
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't
I wanted
I
to
can't put mouth on it either,
it
I
but
know
steals
yeah.
your happiness.
yes, I wanted to bring it up when you were saying they were trying to tell you something like this person and stuff. Do you
Mm.
all work with brand new producers or do you prefer to work with producers you have a relationship with? Once you come with something good, I game.
Yeah,
Once the
if it's
music
quality,
sounding good,
if it's
yeah,
quality, then it's cool. And if you're reasonable to work with, even better.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the first thing we'd look at is quality.
yeah.
Yeah. If your comments like, oh, I had this, but this person was doing it, but I pull it back and don't mix me. Come
Like
straight.
Yeah.
when I looking at producers, I pay close attention to tones. Like you can't be outdated with your tones and
Right,
things,
right,
you
right.
know?
Mm,
So I want to ask Ray, because I want to get to wrapping up here.
mm,
Mhm.
This is what has happened on Behind the Soca. And then with the comments and the questions, some of the people view it as just go. So
mm,
you performed in a lot of places.
mm.
What thus far has been your most memorable performance?
Oh, don't ask me that. I hate when I tell you I hate this question so much. Like I hate it with a passion.
Really?
You know why? Because one is too many to like. It's like I hate when I feel like I didn't choose one that was really good, but there's like you just forget because it is a lot, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I guess if I had to think about mem oh God, I it oh God, this is real hard. Besides for the news and stuff, I
Mm-hmm.
can't name one. I'm sorry. Yeah, Leslie, you're real holding me down here because naming one is unfair.
Yeah.
Um, one of the memorable ones for me was performing at the Universal Circus.
Yes.
And that one was big for me for lots of reasons because I've been to the circus as a little girl and I watch it and I'm like, okay, here I am now, full
Mm.
circle, performing in a place where it's like I was in the other
Yeah.
seats, like watching this.
Yeah.
So that was absolutely amazing. And again, just even being selected to represent for Caribbean nights and things like that, those are things that mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Um, one of
So
my
sorry, it's
yeah,
like okay, you were that little girl or that person in the audience again. Oh, and now you get to
To be
show
in the
someone.
ring, yeah.
right,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. It was a real full circle moment. One of my first memorable moments was opening up for Kes when he
Coney
did it.
Island.
I don't on in Coney Island. I don't think it was called Izwi yet. Was it already called Izwi?
Yeah, it was called this.
It was
I
already called
remember
That
that.
Izwi.
was,
Yeah.
that
That.
was the first we abroad after the place
Yes.
opened back up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like standing up there, seeing people's reaction, seeing like that crowd
Mm-hmm.
was insane. And when they called my name and I heard people reacting, I was like, they missed somebody make a mistake somewhere because they can't be reacting to me. You know, it was like one of those moments where it was like, oh my
Wow.
God, is this really
Yeah.
happening? Like, am I opening for Cass? And on top of that, is people reacting to me and I ain't touched the stage yet.
Mhm.
It was in
That
Brooklyn.
is to prepare you for the
Coney
collab.
Island.
In,
Right?
in.
Um, then Oh God, now I lose track of all the other great ones. There's been a lot. There's been a lot of really memorable performances. Darryl, if you feel like one is coming to you that I'm forgetting.
One for me was when we did the Iswe Limes
Oh
in
yeah,
Santo,
in
the time with
Trinidad.
Kes.
Yeah, that was
That
a
was
really,
a
really
big
good
one
one
for me.
too. Um,
That was really
and
good.
then honestly, in general, Canada shows so much
Yeah.
love. When I tell you,
You-
I absolutely love performing in
Edmonton
Canada.
was our next one
Oh,
for me too.
yeah, we've had real like I cannot hands down. Thank you, Darryl. Thank you, Jesus. Like
Mhm.
like I have been really, really blessed, and I cannot. I really don't want to take away anything from any of the performances, but I've been genuinely blessed on this journey, and I look forward to
Yeah.
all the amazing ones that are going to continue to come. But it has really been Uber Soca
yeah.
crew, like like performing in these. I've had a lot of really big, great experiences, and I don't take any of them for granted. I think a lot of them were amazing, but those were, I guess, to name a few and trying to remember them.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm grateful for all of them. Big, small, are giving you the same energy. It not gonna change.
I will let Daniel
Nikki asked a real
answer the
nice question.
question.
Mhm.
I think it's called Tolam Starboy. So we get in a
Where it
Rane
was?
and Rane collab. That's for the manager. Like I
Oh,
said,
so we get an Ari and Rain collab or what?
I offer
Yeah,
it.
I mean, anything is possible, but we are live and breathing. We living good with
Right?
people,
Once we are
so
like,
anything is possible.
The music good.
Yeah.
I all
and
we don't.
what's come.
Once
I
you
all we
get the
think about.
right song, that's it. Nikki
That's
asks,
Yeah.
what is a definite no when asked to collaborate? When you asked for collaboration?
mm.
Um. So I don't want to sound any kind of way, right? But I
Subject of the
I
song.
view definitely the
The
topic of the
subject of the
song,
song. Yeah.
the topic of the song, the production. Um, how does the production sound? Is it good quality? Topic of the
Hmm.
sound. Um, does this artist match my brand? Right?
And energy.
Meaning, yeah, it's like sometimes you want to do a collab, and sometimes it could be big names, sometimes it could be smaller names, but sometimes that collab goes against you because the vibe or the energy might be so different that it now goes against the brand that you've been building because it's so off brand that
Yeah.
people are like, Ray, what is this? What are you coming with this?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think those are definitely some of the key things that I would look at. Um,
Hmm.
Facts.
Do you have
in
any
terms of
producers that
collaboration.
you look at their music and would want to work with that you haven't?
That's for who
Who that question
real
for?
for me.
Um, I guess for Ray.
Okay.
Um, Again, I definitely feel like I've been blessed in that department also and gotten to work with some really dope producers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would love to work with Papu.
Was
Hopefully
on
that should be
live
pending.
radar.
Wink, wink,
Wink, wink.
Why
wink, wink.
this?
I can't wink, so wink, wink.
You can't win.
I can't wink. I could try,
Papu
but I might, look
was
a
on
little
live
crazy.
earlier. I don't know if it's still there.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
well,
was on it till there.
yeah. I like Papu's work. I recently got to work with Boogie
Yeah.
Ranks, and I had wanted to work with him, and I'm actually looking forward to doing more with him. Wink, wink,
Yeah.
Boogie Ranks, where you at? I don't know that there's no list of producers that I have necessarily in mind, and the ones that I've worked with have been amazing, and I want to continue even to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it goes back to what we were saying before. To me, nobody's not an option.
Yeah.
It's really about what are you bringing, what's your vision, besides for having the good sound, like the production. I mean, what is your vision for it? Like, is it just a, hey, I want you on this, and then that is it, you on
It's
it,
a,
the end,
it's
they don't care,
more than
they,
that. It's more than
so
that.
You,
yeah, I
you
think
know,
those things
producer
matter more
wise, who
to
I
me.
think would be cool. I
Mm.
we recently connected and thing too. I think Just J, I
Yes.
would
Yeah,
love
for
to work on
sure,
a
for
Just J
sure.
project.
Just Jay, yep. Puffy,
Um,
I
yeah,
think
I
Puffy
think
as well.
Yeah.
Puffy's pretty dope
Yeah.
too with what he's doing. So yeah, yeah,
I
that,
also plug in DJ Kai out of Barbados.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Um, Kai.
Yeah, Kai.
Kai is who you say, yeah. Kai is vibes too. I want to work with MSK Productions as well. He did Finally and Trinidad Suite and stuff.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Ray, would you do the voice?
So I've actually auditioned for The Voice before, and I've gotten through the first round, and then the second round, they tell you specifically the dates that you would have to be available if you got through to the second round. And for me, it didn't make any sense to push forward after that because it was like that particular season, the months that they wanted for the second round to, I guess when it actually starts to shoot,
Right.
is like high time to be performing and stuff like that. And again, is this idea of my biggest concern is the length of time that I have to stay away from my family.
Yeah.
So I already know mentally every year I had to tell myself, okay, Trinidad Carnival, that is a big one, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, Gil, if you go and you hand in this second video and you get in, you're going to want to do it. There's not going to be, oh God, I can't. I don't think it's possible for me to see that final okay from The Voice and be like, nah, well, it's not the right. I'm going to go, right? So I made a choice in that moment. I will revisit it. I do plan to revisit it. I just think it makes no sense to revisit it until I make up my mind that I am willing to give that amount of time and I'm willing to make that sacrifice for even, unfortunately, putting soca on hold, because that is really what would be happening.
Yeah.
And until I make up my mind that I'm willing to do that sacrifice, I'm just not going to reapply. But it did feel good though to get the initial, like, yeah, you made it through the first round.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Like, listen, I get here, I could go further. I could go even further. So, coming down, before anybody asks any other question, let's do 5 fast things with Darryl Gervais and Ray. So, favorite food, Ray, favorite food?
Doubles. Everybody who know me know this by now. Doubles.
Yes. Favorite drink. Favorite drink.
As in alcohol?
Anything you like to drink.
Malibu and pineapple. Darryl, hush him out, please.
Okay. We matching with the doubles and the Malibu and pineapple.
Okay.
All right. Favorite city, country to visit?
Oh God, that can't answer fast. Toronto.
Ding ding. Rhythms or singles?
Woo. 50, but singles more than rhythms I prefer.
Really? Yep.
Yeah.
Groovy soca or power soca?
Groovy. I ain't gonna lie. I love power too, but groovy.
Okay. Gervais, favorite food?
Pilau.
I know. I just feel like you was good.
He had time to think. I know fair.
Favorite beach to visit?
Pilau with coleslaw though, and it need coleslaw in it.
Avocado?
Yeah, all of
some
that.
avocado on the side. Yeah.
And kuchela works.
Yeah.
Favorite beach to visit?
Favorite beach? Pigeon Point.
Okay.
I was not gonna say don't be basic.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say maracas.
Favorite instrument to listen to, especially as a writer?
Guitars.
And so you know Jab's music?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Okay.
never get to work with him, but I know him good.
All right. Favorite Calypsonian?
Kitchener.
Ooh. Okay. And of course, favorite writer. It could be anything from a book or poem or music.
I don't know authors like that. If I had to think writers, I think songwriters. One of my favorite songwriters is my mentor for one is up there, Corey Rooney. But let me stay away from a mentor. I would have to say, oh gosh, what's his name, boy? Rico Love.
Okay,
Rico
I will look
Love is one of my favorite.
All right.
But I'm a fan of a lot of songwriters. But if I had to name a few, I would name them.
Okay,
Terrence
so what,
Thomas.
Jones? Okay, what sets Darryl Gervais apart from all the other writers in the industry?
I mean, the people that work with me would better be able to answer that. I, me looking at myself, all I could tell you is that I try to be as real as possible and I try to write what I feel and maybe the melodies catch them, you know. But yeah, I don't think I could answer that.
Okay.
I
You're
think
very big
the
on
people
storytelling
that
when
I
you're
work with, yeah,
writing.
And
people that I work with would be able to answer that better than me.
okay, better describe and give a
Yeah,
long answer.
I
Got it.
I just doing what I love, so I ain't put much thought into like what
For
separates
the
you. Yeah.
love of soca is a real Darryl defender, eh? I must say.
For
I feel attacked. He said it before. Wait, what's next on the agenda for you?
um, I have Carrie Soca Monarch on October 19th.
Okay.
This will be my first time competing in a Soca Monarch, and I will be
regional soca.
representing in a regional Soca Monarch, and I will be representing for Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh.
So I'm very, very excited about that. I will also be doing my first Tobago Carnival.
Nice.
So also excited about that.
That's
And
true.
then honestly, just in between continuing to work. We have new music coming. Definitely a goal of mine to continue to give visuals with the work that's being done as much as it can be done.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
sir.
definitely, no matter what is happening, we are working in the background. Do not ever make the mistake that we are sitting down and doing nothing,
Right.
because we working.
Okay.
So more music, more content, and yeah, just more of giving already real authentic energy, aka sweethearts of soca, aka diva, aka counselor, aka hairstylist.
AKA soca counselor, AKA soca hairstylist.
Right.
So, any advice you have to give to young people that want to get into the soca industry, to perform, to be an artist, to entertain?
I think one of the most important things that for me helped is ask questions, network, learn. Again, I've been very blessed on this journey, and I will continue to say it. I'm not ashamed of being blessed on this journey, having Darryl to even be that person to give the advice, because it didn't start with, hey, I know you from my cousin, could you manage me, right? It really just started with an honest conversation of wanting advice and input as to how I could start. Who do I talk to? What do I do? I think learning the answers to those questions and educating yourself on how to even approach people to get them to respond, because the truth is not everybody even going to respond to your DMs, they're not going to respond to your questions. So I think networking is a very, 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 very big thing. I think being genuine and having your goals and your morals before you even start this, decide what that is for you, right? Come into this and knowing what is hard, knows what you're willing to work with, know who you are as an individual when you come into this, know what you want for yourself, and as you're building, be careful who you put on your team.
Right.
It is very important, in my opinion, that you have people on your team. I mean, everybody wants to win at the end of the day, and nothing is wrong with that. But having people on your team that genuinely want to see you win and will take the wins with you as they come, because now they win. That's the people that you want on the team. The people who genuinely believe in you, the individual that want to push you because they have a vision that they believe in, that they want to help you carry out. I think it is important. Not everybody that wants to be on your team should be on your team.
That's true.
And I had to learn that the hard way. So I am letting people know, just because somebody willing does not mean that they're for you. So
Yeah.
Darryl, any advice to people that want to come into the industry as writers?
Um, Yeah, as writers and as artists in
All
general,
right.
one thing now, comparison in most cases is, I think, steals happiness.
Yeah.
But if you're coming into the game as a writer, as an artist, and when you're coming in like that, you don't have your sound and your voice just yet. Very few people came into the game with that sound and like their sound now. Like one for instance is Turner. Turner came in with a
Right.
sound, you know. He has his voice already. But a lot of people ain't coming with a voice and a sound, and that's developed as you go. So my advice to people, even writers as well, is to find find somebody you hold in high regard in whatever field you're trying to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in some cases you compare your work with theirs, use it as a rod, as a ruler.
Yeah.
And if you genuinely think that it matches with what you love out there that this person do, then you're heading on a good path. So comparison is good in some cases like that to be used as a tool to learn, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But of course you don't let everything go to your heart and thing like that. Network, because relationships are key.
Yes.
I learned that very early on in my career. Relationships are key. It will be one of your most prized possessions. That's one of your biggest resources. People, the relationships that you hold. So yeah, for all the introverts, sometimes you're gonna have to come out your shell a little bit, and mingle a little bit.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is gonna start their career with management who will put everything in.
Yeah.
Everybody wouldn't have that. So sometimes you have to learn. And even when you have management, you still have to learn how to, be brave and just
Yeah.
talk to somebody,
Yeah.
and not overthink too much and things like that. But and research.
Yeah.
Research. Whatever you're interested in, research. Educate yourself as much as you can about what you're getting involved in.
Okay.
So that's it.
So
Definitely there.
I just want you all to give your social media handles and we will wrap it up.
So
Very
mine
good.
is it's Ray with an
With
E.
an E.
ITSRAE.official. For whatever reason, because the It's Ray is like the tag, and because that's the social media handle, people are of the belief that my name is It's Ray. Only my name is Ray. All right, it's just Ray, but the tag is It's Ray.official,
Yeah.
and I spell Ray with an E.
Mm-hmm. And Darryl.
My Instagram is @Gervais Music.
Mm-hmm.
GERVAIS Music.
And YouTube channels and web pages. Oh,
So
look at that. Somebody
Uh,
tagged you there, girl. You're damn right.
my YouTube, my streaming platforms, everything, almost everything is It's Ray.official. But if you go on my page, I have the links to everything. I have the links to the Apple Music, the
Yeah.
Spotify, the YouTube, the TikToks, everything all in need. If all you go to my page, it's in a one-stop shop, wrap up like a nice little present with a bow on top of it for you.
So spicy vibes for plugging the tags.
Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Nikki.
Big up, Missy.
Thanks for killer songs, everybody that contributed.
Thanks, Nikki.
Everybody that passed through the line.
Hey,
Thanks
big up
for
to
support.
everybody on the
Cordell,
live, because I know
everybody.
we on here for real long, and all it was pumping and all it was involved,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate everybody that tuned into the live
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
that.
it was a good conversation, man. I
This is
appreciate it.
a wonderful. Lots of gems dropped tonight, of course, as always. This was the longest BTS, but it was worth it. And y'all stuck.
At some point I was like, I thought lives just be like an hour long. Like, yo,
I
I
said,
it's
don't
oh,
know what
almost
no,
that
we
talking
get
point
about.
cut
came
off
on
yet.
live. Like, remember during COVID, after an hour, they used to cut it off and you had to come back
Yeah.
and stuff. Now they're like,
Yeah.
free game. So much for sleeping early. It was worth it.
For
Thank
the
you.
love of Soca, I
Sleep
feel you on that
nothing
one.
good.
I see I in my bed by 10 o'clock.
Well, it's now almost 9 by me. So thank you,
Okay,
Ray.
well, you good.
Thank you, Ray and Darryl Gervais, for joining
No
us.
problem.
Joining me and all the viewers on this segment of Behind the Soca. Thank you for all the knowledge that you passed on. and all the things that you let the people know about you that they didn't know, like you like Kuchela on your pillow.
Yeah. I don't always get it, but I love it. It's from since small.
Yeah, so y'all be sure to check out their pages, their social media pages, get familiar with all the music, download, stream, purchase, support the artists. This has been Behind the Soca with Rane Blackman, Ray, and Darryl Gervais. Thank you for joining. Good night.
Thanks for having us, Rane.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night.